Hello, I'm in trouble. I know I am. I had to start early because Dana's all up in the chat and she's like, Melly, this is the fourth time you change the time. Hello, yes, yes. Sadly, I must. There's been a lot going on. Hi, 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 hi. Hi. Hello. I'm early today on Kenzie. It feels almost a little weird because we usually do evenings. But hello, we have Kenzie planned today. We also have two other lives planned for the day and one Melly after dark. I figured I should just get in the Kenzie live because if I have too many buzz balls, then therefore I cannot read. So we're gonna do the Kenzie live first before we have something fun later on the channel. Um, Hello, welcome. Happy Sunday. I hope you guys have been having a great Sunday, a great weekend. We're back to April. I lost track. I'm like, wait, yes, April of the Kenzie Shirilla text, and I'm excited. Yay. Let's get into it. Thank you for being here. Welcome to my channel, by the way, all the new viewers, all the new subscribers. I am Melly. This is my channel. This is my house. Welcome. And shout out to the mods as well for being here. Thank you. Like I said, let's get started. Let's just get right into it. Let me say hi to everyone really quick. Debbie Kendra, hello, Miss Laugh a Lot. I saw Asain pop in here. I saw Robert Widow. Dana, I saw you. Remember, I saw you became or renewed your membership. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, yeah. Thank you, Black Rose. And I see Bolita, Jamie. Hey, yay, you're early. I know. Hey, Doreen. Continuously evolving. Okay. Kissies. Kai. Okay, I see everyone. Hello. And Alicia. Hey, girl. Hey, Starlook. And hello, Nemo Sane. I hope I said that right. And hello, Tasha. Yes, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel. It really does help. I'm really trying to do this like all day long and it takes a lot to get there. So definitely hitting the like button and hyping up the lives helps for us smaller channels. And thank you so much for being here. Okay, let me figure out this dang freaking StreamYard be pissing me off. Okay, why is it doing that? We're gonna have problems here. We're gonna have major problems with StreamYard here. Give me one sec. Let me switch. Let me pull up the text. Why? Why are you playing me like this, StreamYard? Okay, let's do. Maybe I messed it up. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Hey, Proving. I missed the last couple lives, so just picking up with April. Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely make sure you go back. Thank you, Nemus. Exactly, precisely. You got pronunciation spot on right. Oh, I did. Okay, good. Yay. Yes, please. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you are able to make it to an early live today. Thank you for being here. Okay, so let's see. Let's backtrack a little. We were in March. What was going on in March? Are you helping with the bill? Honestly, I don't really remember. Something about there's a line. I think they were trying to go somewhere. He says 4 people. She says it's okay. It will go fast. Dom says, but I don't know if dude's kids are getting shit. He has hella little ass kids with him. Kenzie says, hell no. Are you helping with the bill? And then she sends an NC link, and that's where April starts. So she says at 1:42 a.m. Let me make sure you guys can see me. You hear me? Okay. Oh, I did. Yeah, I did. I reached out to her. I just like asked her if she would want to contribute anything about her case to my channel, and I let her know that I was doing the text, and she never got back to me. So she probably won't. Yes, hype after Easter. Easter. Oh, because it's April. You mean? Thank you, Black Rose says I love your channel. Thank you. Yeah, I wrote to her, but No response. I'm sure now if her mom is telling her, everyone's reading these texts later, you know? I'm curious what they think. But okay, April 1st. She says, there was just a popping sound in your kitchen. Dom says nothing happened, so it might be fine. What's the plan for today? Kenzie said, that's what I just asked you. Dom says, really? On what? I must have not got the message. He takes a screenshot. She says, nah, I asked something. I'm confused now. I texted your mom. Dom said, I looked on Snap. You must not have sent it or something. She says, LOL. Dom says, LOL. Kenzie says, because the bow ties threw me off. I asked, what's the plan? Dom said, "Oh, okay." Kenzie said, she said she was ordering Bolt. Do you want to go to the grocery store and get some fruit or what? I can come over right now. Dom says, yeah, I'm down. I just got out of the shower. Kenzie says, okay, bet. Let me tell her bye. Dom says, so take your time. Kenzie says, I literally love this bitch. Dom says, gotta brush my teeth and stuff. Kenzie says, Peyton, my bitch. Dom says, is that the TikTok girl? Kenzie says, yes, I love her. Dom said, that's dope. Where's she from? Kenzie said, she's 13, 12. She's from Canada. On the way. That's interesting. Kenzie's hanging out with a 12-year-old. Kenzie says, this dick just letting this dog bark. It's been for so long. Every time I drive past his house, I'm going to lay on my effing horn. She says that at 3:25 p.m. Literally F him. Dom says, try and sleep in my room. You won't hear it. Kenzie says, when you drive past his house, lay on the horn. Dom says, no, it's right across the street from mine. If you go to my room, just move the clothes over nicely. If you sleep on that side, they're all clean clothes. And then she sends some TikToks. Let me know when you're home. Dom says, I got you. He says, I just got home, but I got to dip again at 5:49 p.m. She says, when will you be home? For good. Dom says, I don't know yet. I'm going to try to be really quick, though. Trust me. Kenzie says, okay. How long? Till you're home. Let me know. She says, bruh, at 6:50. This is like you guys. When I didn't show up, you're like, bruh. Hey, Evie. Haters Liberties. We canceled. Who's canceled? Her mom's birthday dinner. Oh, yeah, Chris. You're not cray cray. I said it. I was gonna come up earlier if I could. Oh my, I was going through Melly withdrawal. Uh-huh. You guys are gonna say that now, and then later you're gonna be like, I'm sick of this Melly girl. When Kenzie nags, she sounds 1,000 times worse than a barking dog. She's so weird telling him what to do. I thought this was canceled. But you. But I'm here. This is not AI. I'm really here reading these to you, Evie. Okay, let's see. She says, bruh, you effed up. Dom says, I don't do this when you make a mistake. Kenzie says, yeah, now we have effing problems because your effing brain can't work right. Effing stupid ass mother effer. Like, I'm not sleeping over tonight. Wow. By the way, if anyone ever talks like that to me, they're getting socked out. Like, for real. That's crazy. I don't mean that generally, but you know what I mean. They're definitely getting cussed out. So childish. So childish. Hey, Angie. Wow. I'm not surprised it's coming out of her mouth. Dom says, what about when you grab the wrong flower? I don't care. Kenzie says, wasting my effing time, making me wait around. You just effing waste my time even more. I don't even give an F. We have problems. You can figure it out on your own. Stupid ass F. Wow. Yeah, she is horrible. Saying you're not AI is sus. What if I was? That's crazy. I mean, I technically could be. I know. It's nasty how she talks to him. We're all gonna call when you don't show up, and then you're gonna have to buy us each a designer bag. Is that what you guys want? A Balenci bag for me not showing up? That's funny. Okay. Y'all ain't getting shit but these texts. And love from me to you. That's what you get. Or I'll buy you guys a fake one. You guys want a knockoff one? I could do that. Okay. Dom says the F. Kenzie says wasting my time and you're also filling up my tank. He says the F. She says, I'm making dinner at my house, you effing idiot. Whoa. Wow. Wow. Hey Mal, good to see you, love. Dom says, cool. You're being crazy. Kenzie says, I'm going to give you another chance to reword that because I think you misspelled it. Because I really wouldn't want you to be single. Dom says, I'll literally be home in 20 minutes. You're tripping too hard for nothing. Like that roost is hard AF. We don't gotta let it cool. It'll be fine. I don't know what that means. He says, I don't blow up on you for making mistakes you're sorry because that was mean AF. And I already filled up your tank anyways, and my house is 1 miles away. That's not wasting gas. Kenzie says, we're not hanging out tonight. Dom said, okay, then that's fine. I'll remember this next time you make a simple mistake. Kenzie says, do you think this is a simple mistake? Your brain must be mush. Like I said, we have effing problems, and if you don't fix it, then you're going to be single. Dom says, yeah, I walked out and locked it. It was a mistake. It's not changing much. I can be back here soon and make the rice. Kenzie says, yeah, I'm not coming over tonight. Like I said, I'm already cooking food at my house right now since you're wasting my effing time. Dom says, okay, Kenzie, whatever. I'll remember this when you make a mistake, since I have to fix mistakes, I guess. Kenzie says, you make the same RETARDED ass mistakes 8 to 9 times a week. Dom says, and I would say I'm sorry, but I guess it doesn't mean anything. Twice lately, but every time I leave my house, I lock it. Kenzie says, then give me an effing key if you're going to be so effing dumb about it. Like, holy shit. No, we're not going to eat dinner until 11 o'clock at night because of your ass. So this is why I'm effing eating now, because you just love to do stupid things. Dom says, whatever you can say sorry for, all that mean shit you said. Whatever you can say sorry for all that mean shit you said. Kenzie said, it's not happening. We have problems until you fix this. Dom says, and how you suggest I fix this? Because from what I recall, I have never got mad at you over making a mistake. You bought cornstarch the other day and was afraid I'd get mad. And you know what I said? It's okay. It was a mistake. Kenzie says, from now on, you're going to give me a key to your house. So I'm assuming that's how she moved in. This is how she moved in. Hey, I was saying you better be here. How are you asking for a key and talk like that? I'm blown away. Her tank? Yeah, we don't give a shit about her tank. She's called him an idiot. I know. I know. It's so rude. So this is how she got the key, guys. By threatening him and verbally abusing him and mentally abusing him. She said, you're going to start cooking dinner and then I'm going to come over when it's effing done. I'm not helping you do shit tonight, she says at 7:18 p.m. Or is that too hard for you today? Dom says, if you say you're sorry, you're not going to demand or threaten things because I made a mistake. Kenzie said, is that a no? Question mark. Dom says, I'll do it if you're not mean about it and demanding, like, what the heck? I said I would start it when I'm back. Kenzie said, so is that a no? Dom said, be nice and you can get whatever from me. Kenzie says, be smart and you can get whatever you want from me. Dom says, even the smartest people make mistakes and you know I'm under a lot of pressure lately. Kenzie said, so are you going to give me a key when I get over there? Dom says, like what I just said was big. Now I can sleep at night. I'll get one made. No, 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 no. I know. She says, how long to your back? Another hour? He says, I'm almost by the other Duncan, so not too long. She says, "K." He says, "So are you saying you're sorry?" Kenzie said, "No." He said, "Oh, okay. So do you not want me to cook?" Kenzie said, "That's not my problem. I already ate. Pick your fight because you know what's going to happen if you choose not to." Dom says, "I just want you to say sorry for being mean AF." Kenzie says, "And I just want you to stop making that mistake." Dom said, "Okay, I will. Maybe don't be mean AF. Like, I don't do that to you." Kenzie says, "No, you're going to stop doing that. So, are you cooking or not?" Dom said, "If you want me to cook, say you're sorry. Because what I did was an accident. You were mean on purpose." She says, "Okay, then I'm not coming over then." He says, "Okay, then." She says, "We have problems and you're about to be single." Dom says, "Kenzie, I just want you to say sorry for being mean, like you're tripping. When you try to break up with me over stuff like this, I'm done entertaining it and you could just break up with me." Kenzie said, "It's not happening. So you're either going to cook dinner and suck it up or we have problems." Dom said, "Because you know that's not right. I made a mistake. You were mean on purpose." Kenzie said, "So what? It's going to be, are you cooking dinner or are we having problems?" Dom says, "Like you can be mean AF every week. If you just know you're being mean and say sorry and admit you're wrong, I don't care because I understand anger. I know how it works. I'm mean when I'm angry too. But if you can't say sorry after that, then that's just being stubborn." Kenzie says, "So what's it going to be? Are you cooking dinner or are we having problems?" Dom says, "And again, you're threatening me, so you can say sorry for the threats, for calling me stupid, and I'll cook you dinner." Kenzie says, "So are you cooking or not?" Dom says, "I have it all out. I'm just waiting for a real apology from you. You know, if an apology meant that much to you, even if I thought I wasn't in the wrong, I would say I'm sorry to you. You're really not going to apologize?" Kenzie says, "Let me know when the food is done." Dom says, "Okay, I guess just apologize whenever you come eat." Kenzie said, "Yeah, that's not happening. We have effing problems." Dom said, "Threats again." Kenzie said, "No, that's not a threat. That's a fact. We have a serious relationships problems now with your weird attitude. You have wasted my whole day." Dom says, "You're the one who's threatening me and being mean when all I did was make a mistake. You could have been over long ago if you just apologized. Like, it's literally 3 words minimum." Kenzie says, "And it's not happening either. So you're either going to make dinner and have me come over or we're going to have problems." Dom said, "So if you make a mistake, then it would be okay for me to call you names and threaten you and not say sorry. That would make it okay. Let me know, because if that's what you think, then so be it. You don't have to say sorry." Kenzie says, "I'm going to give you one last chance to cook dinner and figure this out and fix the problem, or I am going to bed and we have problems." Dom questions his message about, "Okay, so if I do that to you," and then he questions her message again. And then she loves her message about having problems. Dom says, "So what you're saying, you know what you said was wrong, but you're still not going to say sorry?" Kenzie said, "So what you're saying is you're not going to fix the problem?" Dom said, "You're the one who has the fixing to do. I'm literally making dinner right now, waiting for your apology." Kenzie says, "You're not getting an apology." Dom said, "Why?" Kenzie said she liked her own message about you're not getting an apology. She says, "So am I going to bed or am I coming over to eat?" Dom says, "Why don't I get one? Why are you ignoring my questions?" Kenzie says, "I'm not apologizing. So what's it going to be?" He says, "Why though?" She says, "Because I'm not going to apologize. So what's it going to be? Last chance." He said, "What's your reason?" She emphasized, "It's your last chance." She says, "I don't know what you're getting at about last chance." Dom says, "Well, I just want to know your reason." Kenzie says, "Okay, I'm going to bed." Dom says, "I don't understand why you can't tell me why. But okay, go to bed, I guess." He says, "So I'm for real about to just take the rice off? You sure you don't want to say sorry or anything?" Kenzie says, "I'm not," at 8:39 PM. Dom said, "Okay, so you want me to take the rice off? You sure you don't want to just say sorry, eat, and watch movies?" Kenzie says, "I'll come eat, but I'm not saying sorry." Dom said, "Why?" Kenzie said, "Get it through your head. You're about to be single. Like, figure this out right now." Dom says, "Kenzie, if you break up with me over this, I'm not going to chase you." Don't chase her. Don't chase her. her? She likes to cosplay being a real G and she sounds pathetic. Who? She bullying him into corners every single day. Every single day. He gets absolutely nothing from her. I know. Question mark, question mark. Hey, Rogue. I wonder if she was thinking about eliminating him then. I think she was. I really do. I'm just reading your guys' comments. No, we're still on April 1st at 9:00 at night. Be single and mingle. I know, I know, I know. He says, hold on. Thank you, Alicia babe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. Okay, Dom says, Kenzie, if you break up with me over this, I'm not gonna chase you. Thank you for the cash shot. She says, oh, for real? She's like, you're not, because you are. If not, I'm going to remove you from planet Earth. Literally what she was thinking. That's why she wanted the key. I know, Joker. This is how she got the key. By threatening him. Okay, let me get a drink. Yeah. She's trying to sound like she's from the streets. She is for the streets, dude. She says, oh, for real? Dom says, because you just said, because you should just say you're sorry and come over. But for some reason, you can't do that. Because in reality, whether you realize it or not, if you broke up with me over this, then you just prove you don't care. Kenzie said, I'm not apologizing. You're either going to let me come over and eat dinner and it's going to be normal, or we're going to have relationship problems and we're going on a break and we will not talk until Florida. Yeah, until you pay for us to go to Florida and pay for everything. What a biatch. She is a loca. Even if he didn't give her a key, she would go through the window. We know this, yes. She says, and keep saying you're not going to chase me because that's just gonna make me not do a lot of things for you. And I already did. I'm done doing your dishes and cleaning your house. So I'm gonna let you be a big boy and choose your future. Kenzie, doing dishes and cleaning is like the basic step of like living 101. Like, and being a clean human being. Like, shut up. He should go back to D&D. I have my phone on D&D right now. But I did see Alicia's cash app. Thank you. She says, pick wisely. Dom says, so you're done doing anything because I made a mistake, then you proceed to threaten me and you're being mean to me? Let me compare this real quick. Me makes mistake. Kenzie calls me names, threatens me, doesn't apologize. So that's what I did as I recall, and what you did. So what are you going to choose? To break up with me over a mistake or say sorry for something you did on purpose? Kenzie said, so what's it going to be? Dom said, let me know, Kenzie. I'm just waiting for some type of apology. Kenzie says, you're not getting an effing apology. She sends that 3 times. 4 times. Okay, she sends it 4 times. You're not getting an effing apology times 4. And then she says, are you understanding it now? Oh, one more. You're not getting an effing apology. Oh, another one and another one. And he says, so you say you have no empathy for me? Kenzie says, you're not getting an effing apology. 1, 2, 3 more times. Dom says, none at all? Question mark. No empathy and not even sympathy? Kenzie said, so what's it going to be? I'm coming to eat dinner or no? You're not getting an effing apology. He says, I don't know. Are you, Kenzie? He questions his own message about no empathy or sympathy. Kenzie says, because I'm going to let you know right now, your decision is going to drastically change this relationship. Dom says, you're the one changing it. You're the one making the decision. All I want is, I'm sorry, but now it's not going to feel like an apology at all. You just have no sympathy or empathy for me for some very, very, very odd reason. Kenzie says, you're not getting an apology. Dom said, do you have remorse for anyone? Kenzie says, I mean, think about it. You cheated on me several times and then you just recently cheated on me again. So, yeah, you're going to have to earn that if you want that from me. He didn't cheat, dude. Yeah, he was mile high. Hey, good to see you, love. Um, like that wasn't cheating. He messaged one of their mutual friends when they were fighting. Like, okay, I would think some of us could say, depending on our relationship style, like, I guess it's kind of cheating like a little bit. I think it's like emotionally cheating. It's not like he went and banged her, and so I'm just so sick of her not being able to get over the past. Like, get over it. You decided to stick with him and it was young cheating. Like, they're young. And not that that makes it right, but like, get over it. Holding things over people like this is literally psychopathy. Like, that's psycho. Either you're gonna move on and accept the person's apology and their mistake, and you're gonna move on and clean slate, right? Like, you can't keep going back. Yeah, so effing stupid, right, Mallory? She said, you're gonna have to earn that if you want that from me. Dom said, like, what is this? Kenzie says, you're not getting an apology, so what's going to happen? This is your last chance because I'm going to block you. Dom says, okay, Kenzie. Kenzie says, this is your last chance because you're getting blocked. So what's it going to be? This is your last chance. Remember what happened last time I told you this is your last chance and you didn't do it? It's 8:52 p.m. They're still arguing all day. She said, so this is your last chance. I'm very making This is what she said. I'm very making sure that you know it's your last chance. I don't know if that sounds right. Kenzie's dumb. So I would really want you to pick the right decision right now. Dom says, well, I'm making dinner and I'm just waiting to see if you have some type of remorse for human life. Oh my God. Thank you. I just said that. Wow. Dom is really starting to see things he's been for a while, but like, I absolutely don't condone cheating, but I do see why he'd want to. Right, Tasha. Right. And remember, you guys, they weren't having SEX for like 2 years. To most women, emotionally being there for another female. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Mile high. Um, I'd have to know to what extent the conversation went to before I would freak out. I'm home. I am home. Yeah. She's okay. He says, if you have any remorse for human life, Kenzie said, because this is your last chance. Last chance, she says in caps. 1, here she goes. 2, Dom says, because if you don't, I don't know if I can trust you. 3, 4, 5. Yes, she is counting down to him. Dom says, because that's really, really weird. Kenzie said, okay, what's it going to be? Am I coming over or are you getting blocked and we're going to have a break until Florida? Dom says, Kenzie, if we have a break until Florida, you might as well just break up with me. What is this? I make a mistake, so I get punished? Kenzie says, so am I coming over for food or not? Dom says, all I did was make a mistake. Now I get threatened and name called? Kenzie said, yes or no? Dom says, then I want an apology. Kenzie says, once again, this is your last chance. Dom says, and whoa, that's so crazy. I guess I'm getting broken up for that. Let me know when you're okay. So that was 8:54 p.m. So she must have not gone over because it jumps to the next day at 11:14 a.m. He says, let me know when you're up. She says, I'm up. And then she's sending him links for him to buy her clothes. Dom says, my mom wants to come into Polaris this week. I'm going to have to come with her too. Kenzie said, oh, more links for stuff to buy. Oh, now she's sending Amazon links. Kenzie says, I'll let you know when we do customer service. That was at 3:14, so it jumps to 3:14. Kenzie says, look at the other ingredients of that. It's really good flour that we can just use instead of other stuff. Dom said, yeah, what's wrong with Teffy? Teft and quinoa. Kenzie said, look at the ingredients of the flour that I sent you. It's a ton of them mixed together. My grandma uses it. They're talking about flour, not like wheat, but they're talking about like cooking flour. Dom says, bet. He said, yeah, it looks good. I'm honestly craving those Tef pancakes. Those were good AF. Kenzie sends a screenshot, 4 screenshots of food. She said, Teft flour is not cup for cups, so we pretty much can only use it to make things that are Teft flour recipe. What are we making for dinner? And then she sends him more links for clothes. Okay, she says, why are you not answering at 4:08 p.m.? It's like throughout the day, basically. She says, question mark, more question marks, more question marks, more question mark. And then he says, I don't know what you want to make. She said, something good, more question marks. She keeps sending more question marks. What the hell? Then Dom says, sorry, Kenzie, I'm shopping with my mom. Let me think. She says, I'm hungry, but I can't eat anything here because it's bad. Oh, remember, she doesn't want to eat GMOs or whatever. Like all of a sudden, she's trying to be a saint. At least she's concerned about the cutting agent. She's ridiculous. Yeah, all these question marks. That's what it looks like. She says, because it's bad. Town hall, question mark, question mark, question mark. I'm gonna need you to start answering or I'm gonna get mad. He says, yes, we can go. She says, okay, yay. I look really cute. He says, bet. He's like, no, you're not really cute the way you talk to me. No, but he didn't say that. I said that. Then Dom says, when do you want to go? She says, after I feed the dog. He says, how long? And what are you wearing? She says, look at my story. He says, my mom wants to go to Red Lobster tomorrow with us. Red Lobster is non-GMO, at least the seafood, you know? Kenzie said, FaceTime. Dom. And then she sends an order of food. Shrimp, tenders, grilled cheese, taco, pudding bowl, side of nachos. What the Dom says, yeah. He said flour shell, chicken taco. She says, okay, answer fast. He said, about what? She says, if I have a question. 5 question marks. He said, okay. He said, it's not a side of nachos. It's a side of chips and salsa, by the way. She says, okay, give me 20. Oh, give me a 20 wait. Just stay. He says, okay. She says, give a 20. She says, I'm gonna go home. Oh, okay. So it goes from 6:59 p.m. And then she says, I'm gonna go home at 8:41 p.m. Your attitude is repulsive AF. Here we go, dude. They literally have been fighting every single day. Every single day. Yeah. Okay, so she says, your attitude is repulsive AF. Dom says, why? Where you at? Kenzie says, if you're not gonna chase and tell me you want to be around, you want me to be around you, then I'm not going to be around you. He says, why didn't you come? She says, I should feel loved and wanted around, but with you, it's almost like you just tried to give the F away, to get the F away. Like I said before, if you're not going to chase me and make me feel like you want me around you and tell me that you want me around you, then I'm going home and I'm not going to be around you. Dom says, what? I ran over here because it was cold. Kenzie says, and you didn't even drink the tea I made you this morning. They've been together for 4 years. He doesn't need to tell her that he wants her around. Like, obviously. She says, you didn't even drink the tea I made you this morning. You actually stopped over there all mad. Dom says, I have never been good at finishing my tea. I usually just microwave to reheat, but I don't want to do that. Kenzie says, and did not tell me to come with you. You were just there. Dom says, no, I didn't. I had a joint in my lips. I couldn't talk. Kenzie said, so I'm just going to go home since you want to just be there at that negative energy for over an hour, and my body is not going to be able to handle that. I do not want that. Me too. My mouth was duct taped closed, so I couldn't talk either. My hands were also glued to my back. Dom says, what? Everything was fine, and I ran over here. And now it's like, what is this? Kenzie says, I'm live. Dom says, I think you have my keys. She said, no way. Oh, wait. So jump to the next day. My bad, guys. So he says, everything is fine. And now it's not like what is this? So that was at 8:45 p.m. And then she says, the next day, I'm live. He says, I think you have my keys. She said, no way. He said, yeah, in the Fendi. He said, I'm using my spare, so it's cool right now. She says, I have them. He said, what time are you going to be ready to go? She says, on my way. She says, I'm getting pissed. Everyone's being slow AF, taking so long. Like, I haven't even been interviewed yet. She says, read. And then she sends 12 question marks. Oh, more question marks. She's sending like 20 question marks. Dom said, okay, I thought I would just call. Kenzie says, why would you call? Dom said, everyone is ready, Nug. When do you think you'll be out? She says, I am on camera. I effing hate this shit. I'm so mad right now. So many ugly ass weirdos. I'm waiting to be effing interviewed. Dom says, what should I tell them? Should we go? And if you're out soon, meet us. I don't want to make my mom wait. We about to get a table. Let me know if you want me to order you crab legs. Kenzie says, okay. I didn't go. I know you didn't go without me. Dom says, we were waiting for half hour. Kenzie says, I know you didn't go without me. I know you didn't do that. Dom says, why are you mad? We were supposed to go at like 3. It's 4:30. If you're done, swing by. He says, are you coming? We're going to sit at the bar. It's now 4:43 p.m. He says, do you want me to get you crab legs? Are you going to make it? Kenzie, it's taking forever, so you got time. You'd probably be annoyed if you were here anyways. The service is terrible right now. They have no workers. Kenzie said, I'm done now. Answer. Now. Tell your mom I said thank you for the food. Okay, so that's at 6:29 p.m. She says, we're just going to have to hit Allison's tomorrow. And then it jumps to the next morning on the 4th. She says, I got my period. Dom sends pictures. She says, babe, I'm scared right now. You need to call me. She says, I'm home. Dom said, so what happened? Do you know who he is? He said, Kenzie says, loud. Stop turning it up more. You woke me up. Dom said, sorry, it wasn't loud in here just because the speakers are huge. It's 8:47 p.m. now. He said, so the sound goes so far. She says, excuse AF. I don't care. Dom says, I'm being serious. I'll play it and it's not even loud in here. I was just trying to show Blair over the FaceTime. I'm going to do one more. Kenzie then sends links for him to buy her sunglasses. And then it jumps to the 5th. He says, there's a package on my front porch, I guess. He says, grab it for me. If not, I can. Kenzie said, what is it? Dom says, I don't even know. Kenzie said, get it. Dom says, okay, I'll come. Kenzie says, lay with me. Dom says, I can come out to get the package over an hour ago. Kenzie says, he. Dom says, I had fun with you. I wish I could stay up with you all night. Love you, Nug. She says, I love you, Nug, at 1:39 a.m. My love. He says, I'm getting in the shower, babe. Sorry if I wake you up. I waited as long as I could at 9:59 a.m. I'm sorry, 9:26 a.m. Dom says, you want anything from Presty's? She said, yes. Those little balls with sprinkles. Dom says, biscotti? She said, raspberry kolache? He said, isn't that it? She said, yes. He said, okay, bet. She said, take a pic. He said, cheat day, I guess. She said, is it organic or non-GMO? Dom says, I don't know. I don't want to ask because it's super busy, but I assume it's good. Best bakery in Cleveland, all Italian owned since forever. And then he sent a picture. I can't tell what that is. Oh, he's sending pictures of the desserts. He says, those are all the cookies. He sends another picture. She says, they have rainbow sprinkles. She sends a screenshot. She says, raspberry Lola. Also, get those balls with the rainbow sprinkles. They are a pale color. He says, I'm getting Linzer. I'm getting those too. I got you. I know what you want. She said, yay. And then she's sending him links for a purse. She says, is Tyler smart? Dom says, I don't know, for real. Kenzie said, he can do my work in English. Dom said, how long will it take him? Kenzie said, he can finish it by next Monday. Dom said, we need paper towels. And you might as well grab another case of water. Kenzie said, my phone died. Oh, so now it jumped to the next day. She said, my phone died. I can go back. So we're on the 6th. He says, you fine. We have one roll. She said, okay, bet. She sends a screenshot. Dom says, I don't think that's real. That's $31K a year. If he can just give that out, he could probably just get an actual girlfriend. Kenzie said, should I try? So I think she sent him a screenshot of like some escort thing. I think that's what she's talking about. Of course, she was trying to ruin the dinner with his mother. I know. Oh, thank you, Ladybug. She's looking beautiful today. You're so sweet. Thank you. I think he knew. I think she was blackmailing him. Yeah, she was. Dominic went above and beyond to try to please her and make her happy while she did the bare minimum as a girlfriend. I know. Is Tyler smart? I know. Hey, Cat Randall. Hi, love. So I think she sent a screenshot, and then he says, I don't think that's real. 31K a year. If he can just give that out, he could probably just get an actual girlfriend. So I think some man is offering her money. She says, should I try or no? Dom said, does it have like 0 followers? She said 2,113, hella followers. Oh, so it's like an IG thing. Probably like an IG modeling thing. He says, what does he want you to do? Kenzie said, I don't know. Just me talk. Dom says, if he just wants you to talk, be sure, but make him pay you first. No one's gonna pay you 31K, Kenzie, let alone for just talking. Like, you dumbass. He says, make sure to make him pay you first. Kenzie says, I will, LOL. I'm about to be done. Wait, I'm about to be done? Dom said, bet. I just got done shaving so we could go soon. What are you wearing to dinner? She says, here at 5:03 p.m. He says, one sec. She says, it's locked. It is raining. You need to come now. Bruh. And then she sends links for more sunglasses and then a purse. Okay. And then more purses. And then she sends some TikToks. She says, okay, finally, after the TikTok links, she says, WTF at 10:22 p.m. Good job ignoring till I fall asleep. Now I'm mad at you and you cannot talk to me. Dom said, ignoring what? I'm stressed out. Kenzie says, I don't care and your house smells like shit. Dom said, I'm sorry. I seen you open the windows. Kenzie says, and now we have a problem. When you want to be a normal boyfriend, you can text me and fix this problem. Until then, we have a problem. Dom said, Kenzie, I'm at the hospital and you called me and started giving me hella attitude. I said earlier, wait till I get out and we'll go from there. He's at the hospital. I wonder if it's him or his mom. Kenzie said, no, buddy, I asked you if you want to go to Beechwood today and you said you're at the hospital. And I didn't ask if you were at the hospital. I asked if you wanted to go to Beechwood. So when you want to apologize and be a good boyfriend, you can text me. But until then, you're getting ignored. Dom said, you asked if I wanted to go to Beechwood, and I said I'm still at the hospital because I already told you to wait till I'm back. And then you said something like, I didn't ask. I asked you if you wanted to go to Beechwood, which was really rude. So I said, what the F? Why are you giving me attitude for no reason? Then you got mad and hung up. So really, you should apologize. Kenzie said, it's not happening. So you can figure it out or getting ignored until you do. Dom said, I don't care about apologizing, but I'm not going to apologize for saying I'm still at the hospital. Like, that makes no sense, especially after you just gave me attitude for no reason. Like, why do you feel like you need to talk to me like that? Kenzie said, good to know. Dom says, my mom wants to know if she should get crab legs for us. I told her to get them if they are all wild caught. Kenzie said, so are you not going to apologize or what? Dom said, are you going to apologize? Because Kenzie said, okay, I'm going to ignore you. She says, don't text me unless you're apologizing. Dom says, why do you think I need to and you don't? Kenzie says, I'm going to give you one last chance before I block you because I'm not going to be with a man who can't hold up to his actions. It's honestly repulsive. You're actually repulsive, Kenzie. Like, I don't care if you're making out with girls in jail. Like, you're repulsive. She doesn't even ask why he's at the hospital. I know. We don't even know. I wonder why. She has crabs already. I'm dead. It's so cringe how she tries to talk all gangster. Yeah, shut up, Kenzie. Melanie said, shut up. Okay. She says, you're repulsive. This is the last day you take out your stress on me. You have 5 minutes now. Dom says, Kenzie, I'm not taking any stress out on you. I'll say I'm sorry, but you don't just call me and give me attitude for no reason. Like, if I did that to you, it would be a whole different story. We're just not going to do that. I don't do that to you. Kenzie said, you still have to apologize. And obviously, apology is going to mean nothing now because you can't do it on your own. Dom said, I would apologize if you did earlier. I just like to know reasoning behind things. I just want to know why first before I say I'm sorry. Need to fully understand to apologize unless it's just an apology to make them feel better. Kenzie said, you still haven't apologized, so clearly something went wrong with you, right? Dom said, or else, not unless. Oh, he did typo. He says, I'm sorry, Kenzie. I know I don't want him to say sorry, but he's probably saying sorry because he's like done dealing with her shit. But again, he doesn't need to say sorry. He didn't do anything. It's her, per usual. Let me get a drink. No, I don't think she is. I don't think she's out of appeals. He says, I'm sorry, Kenzie. I know he apologized. She says, wow, you finally say sorry after me asking 3 times. He says, stubborn. She says, blocked. He said, that's so stubborn. She says, are you going to apologize for calling me names now? Are you that insecure? That doesn't even make sense. Dom says, sorry, I called you stubborn. Kenzie says, are you just trying to be single right now? That's what it looks like. Yeah, we have effing problems, you dumbass, F-U-C-K. It's almost like you just don't use your head. Dom says, I would rather be single if we're just going to do this BS all the time. For real, you've been stubborn all day. You've been way worse to me than I have to you. You're going to say sorry for calling me dumb AF and saying I don't use my head? Probably not. Kenzie says, I don't owe you anything. You remember when you texted Emily and cheated on me with her literally like last month? Here we go again. Here we go again. This is why we don't have sex, because anytime I given you just become a straight dick. You don't deserve any of my feminine energy, and I should not have soul tied with you. I have not soul tied with you. I should have not soul tied with you. Dom said, I was just about to text you and say it's whatever. I'm sorry. Kenzie says, like, you're literally such a DICK. You're going to start treating me like the goddess I am, or you're going to be a single little bitch. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Demon energy. I know, Amy. Not feminine energy, demon energy. She says, you're going to be single like a little biatch. No, clearly it's not. You're just apologizing because you know you effed up. This is not how it works. Then be single, the F. I don't care. Dom said, no, literally was about to text you because I didn't know if I blocked too. They're like blocking each other. Kenzie said, I asked you to message me and you said you were going to, and then you literally just disappeared for like 2 hours. That's why I was mad. Then go be effing single if you want to be single. Dom says, yeah, I'm sorry, Kenzie, but I can't sleep at night because of this shit. She says, I don't care then. I don't effing care then. Why are you effing taking it out on me? Do you expect me just to let you be an effing DICK? No, that's not how it works. You're lucky I got back together with you after you cheated on me with Emily. You cheat on me with people that are my friends more than 4 times. It always goes back to that. Dom said, I wasn't taking it out on you at all. I disappeared because I wasn't going to be able to sleep. So I was taking care of that. And I wasn't trying to be a DICK at all. You called me on the phone and was saying smart shit. So I got mad, and that's reasonable. And I said I was sorry, and you never gave me apologies for calling me names or anything. Kenzie says, you're right, because I don't owe you anything because you cheated on me like 5 times. Dom said, and then I was just going to drop all of it and just whatever, let you talk to me like that and be really disrespectful because, you just got your period for the first time in a while. So you're probably extra mad from PMSing. Kenzie says, so you're going to fix your attitude and actually show a change, or are you going to keep being a dick? Dom says, and it doesn't always have to come to that. Kenzie says, LMAO. I know you didn't just say that to me. Dom says, say what I was just saying. I was going to drop everything. Kenzie says, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to change that reply because I must be hallucinating. Actually, you have 20 seconds. Dom says, all that mean shit you said, I'm saying. Time's up, she says. So is that what you said, that I am not hallucinating? Dom said, what have I even been doing? You've been starting all of these arguments. And I keep saying that I'm sorry and being the one that has to fix this. Kenzie said, so am I hallucinating or did you send me that message? I'm still confused because there's no way. Dom said, what message? The one I just sent? And you can't bring up things from the past as a reason for you to be mean to me. Now that's going to make a relationship super toxic. For real, might as well break up. Yes, that's what I said earlier. My God. Hey, Tippy. Hey, Midnight. I know Davian was still live post crash, and I don't know he was talking. Yeah, I know. It's sad. The goddess from hell. He says we might as well break up. She said last month isn't really the past big guy. I hate how she calls him like buddy and then like big guy. I'm like, you're just call my name. She says, break up with me. I don't really care. I'm going to Florida no matter what. You say it's in the past, but you cheated on me last month with one of my friends. I'm gonna have a big, great life, and you can either be in it or not. And if you're not gonna treat me with respect and like the goddess I am, then I don't want you to be a part of my life. I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to reply, or you're single. Yeah, at this point, you guys, like I give up. I'm done. She was already premeditating. Like I think that he was already knew. She uses, yeah. I think that it's so bad right now. Like he had to have seen something like this coming. Either the cops getting involved or the people around them. Like this is pretty bad. And this is only just a glimpse of it. Like I'm sure there's more. Um, she says, I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to reply or you're single. And he knows he shouldn't be with her at this point. Like it really does blow my mind. He's saying like all the right things, like about them breaking up and the relationship being toxic and how she's been crazy and how, him coming to terms with like the trauma that he had dealt with. It's really sad. She says, I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to reply or you're single or okay, we're done. You just effed up. Dom said, my phone died. Kenzie said, you seriously need help. Dom said, Kenzie, I'm gonna have an amazing life guaranteed. I need a strong female by my side that won't break up with me every day. You can treat me like a god because I am a god and I'll treat you like the goddess you are. But please, you can't be name calling me like that, then break up with me over it. That is not it for real. Kenzie says, why are you just repeating everything I say? You're literally delusional. Why are you trying to act like you're spiritual AF, like you're literally a vibrating low ass F? Dom says, you say the meanest things and don't think people will react, and it's terrible. Kenzie says, I try to help you, but you can't help it. Dom says, no, how you talk to your family is very low vibration. Yes, thank you, Dom. I, yeah, Melanie, she's absolutely unhinged. I can't even deal with her. Like, if I knew her in real life, oh my God, I'd probably be in jail. Hold on, I need a cough. Sorry if I coughed in your ear. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I am your God. I know. That's funny. Um, he says, no, how you talk to your family is very low vibration. How you talk to your mom, especially. Thank you, Dom. Yeah, even though Natalie Shirilla is trash, still thank you. He should really go cheat on her for all the grief she gave him. You know, it's so sad that he couldn't get out of this relationship before she murdered him. It's crazy. I'm shook. This case blows my mind. He says, how you talk to your mom, especially. I feel bad for her, for real. Kenzie says, I don't talk to my family, so that's not really a problem. So are you single or are you going to fix this problem? Dom said, like, this whole argument came out of you talking smart to me. Like, you have to ditch that shit, Kenzie. She says, I feel bad for your mom and all her kids are effing drug addicts with anger issues. We can play that game. What bugs me is she tries to act like a gangster, but she can't even spell addict. Like ADDICT, like a rug addict. She says attic, AITT, ATTIC, like the attic. Like he was down in the attic. That's hella funny to me. Um, I'm just being petty. I'm just like, oh, she's acting like she's a bad bitch, but she can't even fucking spell. Oh, good grief. Hey, Green Eyed. Oh, well, Green Eyed, thank you for listening and having a migraine, but I hope I don't give you more with this stupidity. So stupid. I know, Mal. I know. Thank you, Chantel. Late as always. Oh, you're fine. You're fine. Thank you, love, for the super chat. Appreciate you. You're a little bit late, but I know you'll catch up. Is Dom growing a pair? Too late. She says, anger issues. We can play that game. Dom says, I talked smart back. I'm sorry. Because he said, no, it's okay. We're going to play this game since you want to bring up my family. You're not sorry. You're just going to do this again in a little bit. Dom said, I said, you talk bad to your family. I didn't say anything mean about your family. Kenzie said, yeah, I feel so bad for your mom. I feel so bad for her. Dom says, not you're trying to talk mean about my family. Low vibration. Kenzie says, no, I just said I'm feeling bad for your mom because all her children are drug addicts. Clearly, you just lie your way into changing and getting me back into your life like you haven't changed in 1 year. I'm a new person every single week, and you are the same old you. Yes, Kenzie, I think you have split personality. Who are you talking to? Mr. Hamdicks? Wow, she's disgusting. I know. She doesn't give a rat's arse about you. I know. It's relentless hell. She says, I'm a new person every single week, and you're the same old you. Dom says, don't talk about my brother. Kenzie said, if anything, you're repeating back to your old self. So are you going to be able to treat me like the goddess I am, or are you going to keep being like this? Because if you're going to keep being like this, then you can be single. Clearly, you don't care about how I feel. I didn't even give you attitude this morning. I just asked if you wanted to go to Beechwood, and clearly you're stressed out and decided to take it out on me. Dom said, how, Kenzie? That's you. You've barely changed at all. Kenzie says, I'm going to give you one last chance. Otherwise, I'm going to have to block you. Dom says, no, Kenzie, you asked if I wanted to go to Beechwood. I said, I'm still at the doctor's. And you said something like, I didn't ask that. I asked if you wanted to go to Beechwood. And that's mean. I told you earlier, wait till I'm back and I'll let you know. Kenzie said, yeah, I wasn't talking about going to Beechwood right that second, but clearly you can't comprehend that because obviously you just went to the doctor. So why the F would I be asking you to go right now? That honestly is very dumb of you to think that. So I'm going to give you your second last chance to fix this. I'll give you 3 chances. Then there is an effing problem. Dom says, you could just acknowledge that I'd let you know when I'm back. You could have just said, okay, hit me up when you're back. Kenzie said, so what is it going to be? I really don't want to have to give you your third less chance already. Dom says, Kenzie, you're causing the problems and I'm just fixing them. Remember that. Kenzie said, so what's it going to be? As you should. Dom says, as long as you acknowledge it. Kenzie said, because I don't owe you anything. You just cheated on me last month. Being with you is enough. Being with you is enough. I shouldn't even be cleaning your house. So what's it going to be, effing BITCH? This is your last chance that you're actually using already. Wow, she's even calling him a bitch and stuff. Like, mm, how many last chances? I know. I think she means she's the new person every week. Wait, she was only on last chance. I don't even know how many chances. Are these last chances non-GMO? Dude. Oh my God. That's actually pretty funny. I missed the start of this. Just replay Beyblades. I can't with this girl. I know she's really pissing me off today. She says, you're actually using your last chance already. Dom said, being with me is a blessing and you know it. She says, wow, am I blocking you right now? Dom said, I have not met a single man in my life that can do what I can. Okay, chill out, Dom. That part, chill out. Kenzie said, because you clearly have not answered any of my 15 messages that I just sent you. Dom says, not one single one. What you want me to do to fix it? Kenzie said, after all these years, you still have to ask me that question. That is so sad. Proving no change. Dom said, I understand you want me to treat you better. Kenzie says, no, clearly you don't because you treat me better for like 3 days and then you start being a piece of shit again. Dom said, how about this? Kenzie says, you're done being a dick to me. You're done taking your stress out on me. Dom said, I promise you on my mother that will never happen again if you just don't be disrespectful to me ever. Oof, that's hard. Kenzie says, didn't you just swear on your mother's life that you would never cheat on me again, but you just cheated on me with Emily? Dom says, there you go. Problem solved. If not, I can try to be better and sometimes I will get mad back if you say something to provoke me. And if I did, I guess I didn't lie because she's doing amazing. And doctors thought she had cancer, how bad it was. So what you want to choose? Oh, so it was for his mom that he was with the doctors. That's sad. No, that's not cheating. I know. She says, this is your choice, not mine, buddy. Dom says, if you're not disrespectful, this will never happen again. I'm sorry for how I acted, but you have to understand your end too. There is 2 ends to an apology. Kenzie says, you can say what you have to say over text. Oh, so I wonder if he tried to call her. Let me see. What time it is? 1:19. She says, you can say what you have to say over text at 1:45. Dom says, how do you want to go about this? Kenzie said, that is what you called me about? Dom says, I was going to say more earlier, but I forgot now. She says, okay, cool. So you're not going to get your prom stuff now? Dom said, no, we can go. Are we good now? Kenzie said, I'm still mad, but what is going to change? Dom says, are you going to not be disrespectful? I can't promise this won't happen again if you can't promise not to be disrespectful, but I can try my best. Kenzie says, did you seriously just say that to me? Okay, then we cannot go clearly because you still have some underlying issues going on. Dom says, what do you mean I have issues? What I'm saying is totally reasonable. We're only human. Kenzie says, why would you ask me if I'm going to be disrespectful when I'm not effing disrespectful? That makes me effing mad and not want to be around you. Does she not listen to herself? I wonder if she just sleeps at night and hates herself because she's such a piece of shit. Like, cool, eat the gel food, wear the gel underwear, like, gross. Drink the gel bathroom water and put it in the kettle. Like, cool, Kenzie. Wear makeup and gel. Cool. You're so fucking cool. I can't even believe it. I'm just up here ranting now. Sorry, guys. I take that back. She says, that makes me not want to be around you. Like, WTF? Dom says, okay, Kenzie. Kenzie says, is that what you just said? I'm going to give you another chance to fix that reply, or I'm going to have to block you and we're going to have issues. Clearly, there's something wrong with your head. Dom says, I won't say that, but you can't say stuff like this because that's disrespectful. Kenzie says, you just lied about changing your apology. You just lied about changing and your apology. Now it means nothing, which means I'm not going anywhere with you, which means we're still in an argument. Dom said, Kenzie, this is what I told you. Dom said, if you disrespect me, I can't promise for this not to happen again because it's hard to not react in a bad way. But if you can promise not to, I can promise to. And that's totally reasonable. If not, I can try my best. Kenzie says, okay, if you're not going to treat me good, we can just break up. You're going to treat me like a queen that I am, or you can go be alone. 2 minutes to reply. I can't stand how they have these like arguments via text. Like, it's just too much for me, these arguments over text. Dom says, sorry, I was driving my mom. You have to treat me good too, babe. You know I'll treat you good. Kenzie says, no, I don't, because you've been a DICK for like 2 days. So you're going to have to figure this out yourself. And you apologized 3 times today and have not showed any change. Kenzie says, no, I haven't, Kenzie. Or Dom says, no, I haven't, Kenzie. Kenzie says, you're right. You have not showed any change. Now you can stop repeating everything I say and fix this problem. Like, seriously, you're pissing me the F off. Why are you not hearing anything I'm saying? Dom says, I'm not repeating anything you're saying. I just want an effort from you if you want more from me. Kenzie says, you're not getting effort from me until you change. Dom said, shit has to go both ways or it's not going to work. Let me get a drink. You guys probably heard that. Sorry. Still doesn't ask how his mother is doing. No, she still has not. He says, shit has to go both ways or it's not going to work. Okay, I don't need effort. Just don't need to be mean to me for no reason. Dom said, or that's what Dom said. Then Kenzie says, then effing change and be normal and treat me like an effing god because I am one of the best you'll ever get. Wow. Agree. That's funny. Yeah, listener for you blocked. I bet she regrets these texts now behind Bart. Her? She don't regret shit. She's an evil person. She's evil. Hi, Kennedy. Hi, my love. Good to see you. She's so gross. I know, Mal. I know. She's so gross. Um, she says, good to see you, Kenna. She says, treat me like an effing god because I am one of the best you'll ever get. I love that line. Dom says, I treat you amazing. Look at how we live. Kenzie says, I'm glad you think that. You do not. Why are you not hearing what I'm effing saying? Like, I'm going to block you in 5 minutes if you do not get your shit together. Dom says, what you want me to change? Not get mad when you're mean to me? Kenzie says, so are we going to get your prom shit or not? Because you can just not go to prom with me if you're not going to do it. And you better be hella effing respectful to me and treat me like a god this whole time that we are together because this is now a test. Oh, Lord. I can't handle this. Dom questions her text like he should. And then he says, okay, we can. He says, don't be trying to provoke me, though. Kenzie says, you're going to be extremely nice to me. This is how it's going to go, right? Yeah, it is. Dom says, you want to just go another day? She says, I know you didn't just say that to me. It's on the 7th at 2:56 p.m., by the way. Dom says, why does that matter? It's already 3, but all right, we can go, I guess, but we're not really going to have enough time. Kenzie says, okay, cool. You can come get me. Dom says, okay, let me get money together. How much should I bring? And then Kenzie says, are you coming? He says, yeah, I'm trying to figure out how much to bring. What do you think? She says, dude, I don't know. Dom says, I'll just bring some. Kenzie said, okay. He said, here. She said, K. She said, 36 short suit jacket, neck 14 and a half, 33 sleeve. Dom says, I forgot to take out. Okay, hold on, let's go back. She says 33 sleeve. That was at 4:29 p.m. Then it jumps to the 8th at 10:18 a.m. And Dom says, I forgot to take out the trash. Would you be able to? If not, it's cool. I'll get it when I'm back. She says, when? He says, when am I coming back or when do I want you to take it out? She says, when do you want me to take out the trash? Kenzie, are you dumb? Like, just go do it. Take out the freaking trash. Why does he have to give you a time? Can you go take out the trash at 2:18 p.m.? Like, what the? She offers nothing. I'm over here tripping out. I seriously think she gets bored and picks a fight with him. Dude, if someone gives me a time to take out the trash, like, there's going to be problems for reals. Like, just take it out, dude. She says, when do you want me to take out the trash? He says, whenever, probably sooner than later. I don't know when trash people come. She says, okay, I'll do it now. Thank you. He says, okay, bet. Thanks, babe. She said, check out this listing. Oh, so she's sending a listing for Ed Hardy sunglasses. Yeah, she's sending links for sunglasses. She said, so are you not coming? So are you not coming? She's separated out too. Deadass, you have 5 minutes to answer. Whoa. And then she says, LOL. So you can answer Sean in 3 seconds, but not me. We're about to have problems. Dom says, you don't answer me all the time for hours just to play Fortnite on TikTok. Don't get mad when I don't answer for 2 minutes. That's literally the definition of hypocrisy, babe. Kenzie says, I am not known for purposely ignoring and cheating. There's a difference right there. So you can get your shit together or we're going to have problems. Dom says, I'm not purposely ignoring. So why are you still mad? Kenzie says, are you coming with me or not? Because I'm about to leave Goodwill and go to 30 minutes away. Dom says, I haven't showered. I'm about to drink my protein shake and shower. If I would go, I would like to go after I shower. Kenzie said, so in 3 hours, you would be ready? Dom says, I don't want to get dressed when I'm all smelly and sweaty. Kenzie says, so I have to go alone is what you're saying. Dom says, why are you being mean about this for no reason? Kenzie says, maybe because you ignored me for no reason, and now you're going to take your 3-hour daily shower and make me wait. So am I going alone? Dom says, I don't ignore you whatsoever. I was making a smoothie. I have plays, Kenzie, and I have to shower. Kenzie says, you can just shower after the thrift stores. They're dirty. She says, "Okay, so I have to go alone is what you're saying?" Question mark. Dom says, "If you're going right now, then yeah, you gotta go alone." Kenzie sends a question mark. Question mark, question mark. Dom says, "I want to shower. If I don't know, then Imma get busy with all my plays and then not shower all day." Kenzie says, you can just shower at night like a normal person, not right in the middle of the goddamn day." Shit, if I go all the way 30 minutes away, then I'm going to get food without you too. For real, like we're about to have problems. Dom said, "I think most people shower in the AM, babe." He says, "Why?" She says, "No, I think you're wrong, but thank you for your opinion." Dom says, "This is not making any sense. Like, I'm busy. Why are you mad? I have to shower and get plays done. Like, I need money. Like, what is this you're about to make me freak out? Send me designer every day to buy you, but you get mad when I try and shower and make a couple plays. Like, I need time. Do you want me to go broke?" It's like you don't appreciate my effort for us at all. I try so hard. I put the best food possible in the fridge, put a roof over your head, take us on vacations. Like, please, just let me shower and do plays. When I have plays planned, I can't just dip on everyone and go blow money. Like, when you do this shit, it for real makes me think you give zero F's about me at all. Like, I need to get my shit done. If you can't understand that do you really even care? If you wanna go places later, we can, but I need to get my shit done first." She said, "How long is that gonna take? 5 hours? Maybe 6? 3-hour shower, 3-hour doing sales?" Dom says, "Whatever, Kenzie, just to be mean, I guess I could have an actual job and barely have time for any of this like most people." Kenzie said, "So is that a yes?" Dom said, "Especially people that make as much as me wouldn't hardly have any time at all to do a quarter of the things we do." Kenzie said, "So you're gonna be ready at like 5?" Dom says, "I have a play right at 5, so we could probably go after." Kenzie says, "Bruh, I was literally joking. Of course. They're all going to be closed. Like, I'm just gonna go alone, I guess. What the F?" Dom said, "I'm sorry, Kenzie. We can go tomorrow morning. Didn't expect to go shopping all day on a Friday." Kenzie said, "So you're for real gonna be busy till 5?" You guys, it's only 1:49 PM. He says, "I have a play at 5, so yeah, I can see if they can do earlier." Kenzie says, "I don't even care anymore. I'm on the way there. I don't need anyone." Dom said, "Okay, I'm sorry, Nug." She said, "You're not." He said, "Okay, whatever, Kenzie. You're being inconsiderate towards me. Let me make my money. I can't not go make money to go blow money shopping. It's not going to work out. I'll go broke." Literally, while they're having this conversation, she sends him links to Chanel sunglasses. He said, "What's the plan for tonight?" Like, oh my gosh, I can't. If Dom had a real job, she would have got him fired countless times. I know. But I'm almost wondering if he had a job, if maybe things would have been different between them. You know what I mean? Like him not being around her all day and like meeting other people. I'm allergic to water because she's a grandma. I know. If Dom, yeah. Okay. Oh, jeez. What if it does? What if what does? He said, "What's the plan for tonight?" At 3:43 PM. She says, "I thought you were busy all day." He says, "I think my last play is the one at 5. I'm about to dip for another play. That's half-hour drive. So after 5 should be good. I can double check if that's it." She says, "So all day?" Dom said, "Kenzie, that's only an hour from now." She says, "Okay, that was at, yeah, 3:53." And then at 4:05, she says, "I don't think I'm gonna have kids." Random, but yeah, please don't. She says, "Is your house unlocked?" Dom says, "I'm about to dip." "Yes, yes, why, babe?" She says, "Imma come over. Leave it unlocked." Dom says, "Can I come see you before I dip if you're quick?" Kenzie says, "Why would I bring kids into a world that's going to be effed in 10 years? Like, we're not gonna have much of a world." Okay. And then she sends a bunch of TikToks. Dom says, whenever people hurt the planet, it seems to always swing back and hurt everyone else. I think people in the earth will work itself out, babe. I wouldn't worry about it. Besides making change and awareness and topics like that, I feel like the planet is going to be F too, but you can't let it stop you just like that, you know? Because our generation is way more aware of things than the ones before, from the internet, especially. And most these jackasses probably got the COVID shot. Kenzie says, I don't care. That doesn't change the fact that the world's probably going to end before I die and I'm not having a kid. Why would I bring a kid into a world that's going to be effed? She says, I'm cool. Dom says, we'll see, babe. I don't see it happening though, to be honest. She says, well, I do. Dom says, when people hurt the earth, it seems to always have a natural disaster and kill hella people. And then Kenzie sends a bunch of TikTok links. Dom says, Kenzie, it always looks better on social media. I see posts like that too. And we always plan days together. Kenzie says, you don't plan it. I do. She says, and I need 2 carts. When should I meet Olivia? Dom says, meet her anywhere busy. Or where should I meet Olivia? He said, meet her anywhere busy. She said, sheets. Dom says, we both plan because we both have input. He says, yeah. She says, where are the carts? And then she sends more TikTok links. Dom says, I unfollow, block, whatever, you know that. So she's like sending him relationship like TikTok clips. She says, LOL, not after you complain about it. Dom says, name an example. Kenzie said, quote unquote, she goes to my high school. I've known her my whole life. Dom said, yeah, like who? If I've known someone since elementary and have never been more than friends, who cares? Especially harmless people, not thoughts. Kenzie sends more TikToks. More TikToks and links. Now she's sending him dresses, more TikToks, and now we're on the 9th. He says at 3:43 p.m., I'm sorry, I should have just asked you to talk a little quieter instead of shh. Kenzie said, where are your tweezers? Never mind. Dom says, you found? She says, let me know when you're home. Dom said, okay, about an hour. She said, okay. She said, do you want to make scallops and shrimp tonight? Dom says, if you want, we're already having crab legs, so there'll be a lot of seafood. Maybe eat the crab legs first, and if we're still hungry, we can make the shrimps. Kenzie said, I want a lot of seafood. I want those scallops. Bad AF. I'm telling your mom how good they are. Dom says, yeah, we could probably do that. The only thing is, I don't know how I would make the shrimp. I'll be making the crab, the shrimp, and scallops 3 different ways. So that would get like a lot of different kitchen. We're dirty at one time. So I'd rather do them one by one just so it's not like a hectic mess. Also, yeah, the scallops are really good. The only thing is that my mom needs a low fat diet and I put butter in it. So if we could figure out some substitute. I can just not put butter in it. That would be nice too. Kenzie said, she said some butter is okay. We can go to Aldi and get that vegan butter. Dom says, okay, we can do that. We're going to need white wine for it. How should we season the crab since we're not trying to use butter? I'm not either. And then she sends a bikini link. He loves it. She says, how long? Okay, so now it's the next day. Wait, was it already the next day with the crab legs? Let me go. I might have missed that. Oh no. So he says, trying to use the butter. I'm not. So that's the end of the 9th. Then it jumps into the 10th. She sends a bikini link. He loves it. She says, how long? She says, bruh, are you for real gonna take a 2-hour shower? Like for real? Like I know you're here. Dom said, I was in the shower, my bad, and had way more buildup than I thought. Really need that scrubby thing you showed me. Dom says, my mom wants to call you. Kenzie says, I'm on live. Hold on. Dom says, are we still going to your aunt's? Or are you gonna lie? I don't know. That's a typo. He says, and are we going to town hall later? Kenzie said, yes, come over. We can. Dom says, okay, I'm gonna dress decent then. I just realized we have the scallops out though. Kenzie says, "What are you wearing?" Dom questions it. He says, "I don't know if we're going out to eat. Probably my ice cream jeans. If not, probably just some Nike sweats." Kenzie said, "Let me know." Dom said, "Well, what do you want me to do about the scallops? Like, I guess I'm just waiting around." Kenzie says, "I don't know. Come over." She says, "8K views." He said, "So what's the plan?" She said, "Come over." He said, "That doesn't tell me the plan at all, babe." Kenzie says, "Want to come over now?" Dom says, "I'm reheating leftovers, then I'll be on the way." Kenzie says, "Where are you?" At 2:28 p.m. She says, "Bring an eighth." He says, "Okay." He said, "Is that for your uncle?" She said, "Yes." She said, "Purple? Purple weed?" Dom said, "Okay, LOL." She says, "Where you at?" He says, "Just got done eating, about to come in a sec." She says, "Bruh, WTF? How long are you going to take?" And then she says, "WTF," with a bunch of question marks. "How are you going to FaceTime me, then not answer?" Like, question mark, question mark, question mark, tons of question marks. And then she sends a picture of them at dinner. Okay, so that picture of them at dinner is the one, um, um, I just lost my train of thought because I was reading your comments. That picture from this dinner, I wish I could blow it up on here, but it's the one where she has the wine glass. You know what I'm talking about? It's in a few of my thumbnails. She's like sitting on his lap and they have the thumbnails. The question mark stuff would put me over the edge. Yeah, I know. She's like, "Let's fight about this." I know. Thankfully, she doesn't have a child. I know. Mackenzie's such a freak show. Okay, so she sends a picture of them at dinner. He says that was at 7:18 p.m. Wait, is that of them or just her? Yeah, it's both of them together. And then Dom says, "Why are you so obsessed with yourself?" At 7:19 p.m. And she says, "LOL." And then she sends links to more Chanel sunglasses. She says, "WTF? Did you for real just walk away and go to bed?" And it's now 10:39 p.m. She says, "Okay, I'm gonna go home. You have 5 minutes to reply. 3 minutes, then I'm leaving." Dom said, "Sorry, I was just going on my phone. I might have just fell asleep." Kenzie says, "We have problems." Dom said, "Why?" Dude, it's literally 11 o'clock at night and he's falling asleep and she's mad. He's like, "Why?" He said, "Massaging was not gonna help." Kenzie said, "Stop texting me." Dom says, "You have to stretch." Kenzie said, "We have problems. Like, you effed up bad. I don't know why the F you don't learn. Stupid AF. Of course, your dumbass just goes back to bed. This is why we have problems." She says, LMAO, I know you didn't just not answer. You are effing up so bad right now. You deadass have 3 minutes to answer or we're on a break. Literally 11:03 p.m. She says, "Okay, cool. We're not talking till Florida." Then she says, "Major relationship rule. Never let your girl go to bed mad. Clearly," wow. She says, okay, I'll start over. "Major relationship rule. Never let your girl go to bed mad. Clearly, you're a perkhead ass, can't grasp that fact. Maybe you will learn in a couple days and how to treat a woman. And we are dead ass not talking till Florida. We have issues." If Sean was calling you a million times, you would answer so fast. Good to know your priorities. You're giving little bitch. Wonder why I hate men. This is why. You're also dumb AF for leaving your front door unlocked. Maybe you should have locked it. And that was at 11:31 p.m. And then Dom finally responds, "Left the light on, hoping I'd stay up, and I couldn't." And this is at 2:18 a.m. He says, "Kenzie, I tried to help you. Me massaging your back was not helping and wasn't going to help you. You need to stretch to make it feel better. Your muscles are tight and are pulling on different muscles. And yeah, sorry I was too tired and couldn't stay up. I even told you I felt like I wasn't going to pass out massaging you." She says, LMAO. Then you gave that dry ass reply. You're a PUSSY. Do not text me. This is at 5:09 a.m. She says, I'm done with your gay ass excuses for real. You're lame AF. You only answer like two things I text. It's giving dry ass. You're not sorry. Like I always say, you're just gonna do this again. And this is why we're not talking till Florida, because I'm done. Dom says, what did I do wrong? The massaging wasn't gonna help. And I didn't intentionally go to bed. I just laid down and passed out in 30 seconds. Kenzie said, so you're not gonna fix this? You're causing a deeper problem for yourself. And this is at 3:38 p.m. on the 11th. She says, your 10-minute timer is starting now to fix this problem or you're getting blocked. Dom says, what did I really do? Like, I'm sorry. I passed out. I don't know why I was so tired. Kenzie said, time's up. She says, so you're getting blocked? Dom says, why would I be blocked over this? Kenzie says, 5 minutes. Then Dom says, do you want me to massage you or buy you a massage? Would that make it better? Kenzie says, no, I want you to fix this. Dom said, how? I told you I was sorry. I wasn't trying to do that. I literally just laid down and fell asleep in 2 minutes. I shouldn't have to fix anything unintentional. Like, I don't know how I was that tired. I said I was sorry. That should be enough. Like, the only thing I did was fall asleep on you. Kenzie said, the fact is you got up without saying nothing and just went and laid down and did not tell me anything. That is a problem. And clearly you're not understanding that. Like how, like we are going to be in this argument until you get it through your thick ass head. He says, I was only going to lay down for 5 minutes and go on my phone. Then I just crashed as soon as I laid down. Kenzie said, why the F did you not tell me you were getting effed up and going to lay down? That is a goddamn problem. You're still not effing getting it. Like, what the F is wrong with you? Like, nobody just gets up, doesn't say anything, and then goes and lays down. Like, why didn't you say, okay, I'm going to lay down? Like, that's normal to effing communicate, which clearly you're not good at. Dom said, I was talking to you, telling you hella shit you could do for your back, and you just weren't responding. So I just thought I'd let you go for a sec. Kenzie says, you're honestly just making yourself look so effing bad. Like, I'm actually going to ignore you until we go to Florida if you do not fix this like right now. Tell me to stretch my legs is not going to help. I don't need you to give me your shitty little advice when I know exactly what's wrong with my back. So what's it going to be? Are you going to get blocked and ignored until we go to Florida? Where are you going to fix this right now? I know. She's going to fight with him and not talk to him, but still expect him to pay for Florida. I know. She probably fell asleep and then got mad at him. I could see that. She says, until we go to Florida, or you fix this right now. Dom said, I looked up on the internet how to relieve lower back pain ASAP and told you dozens of things. Kenzie said, oh, okay, so you're getting blocked. She says, like, I literally will not go to Florida with you. Are you actually serious? Like, I'm going to give you one last chance. Dom says, so what did I do wrong? Because I told you a dozen things to do. You didn't respond. So I went to lay down for a sec. I didn't think I'd fall asleep. I was about to come back in 5 minutes. I didn't even brush my teeth or anything. Kenzie says, you did not effing communicate. That is the problem. How many effing times do I have to tell your dumbass? Why are you not getting this? Like, you're getting blocked in 10 minutes if you do not figure this out. You're digging yourself in the deepest hole ever. Dom says, when I texted you at 2 is when I realized what happened. I guess I was just too tired. So you're mad I didn't tell you when I was leaving the room? You're mad I just went to my room? Kenzie says, texting me at 2 was already too late. I don't know why you're still not grasping this with your little head. Are you not reading? WTF. Like, what the F is wrong with you? Like, are you mentally okay? Holy shit. Like, read. Stop being so effing dumb. What the F? And she sent that all in caps. He says, that's what you said. You said you were mad because I didn't say anything before I went and laid down. Kenzie says, wow, good job. Good job reading. And a ton of exclamation points. He says, so I should tell you when I leave the room? You were initially mad that I didn't tell you I was leaving the room. 'Cause he says, "If you're going to leave and go to bed, yes, you would think that's common sense. Holy shit. What the F is wrong with you? You're for real making me doubt everything. What the F is wrong with you?" Dom says, "I explained to you I didn't intentionally go to bed. You seen all the lights were on." Kenzie said, "Like, is this how you're gonna be?" Tons of question marks. She sends like 20 question marks. "So why didn't you tell me you were going to lay down? Why the F would you just get up and walk away, say nothing, then go to bed without saying nothing? Why are you not understanding? I'm gonna block you." Dom says, "You weren't responding to what I was saying, babe. I didn't know if you were asleep or didn't want to talk or mad or something." Kenzie says, "OMG, what the F is wrong with you?" She sent those all, each word in separate texts. Like, what the F? Like, is your head okay? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Dom says, "Why is that wrong now?" Because he says, "Why am I asking when I know the answer is no? It's not okay." Dom says, "Like, I was literally just gonna go on my phone for 5 minutes in the other room, then come back. Like, I was sitting all awkward on the floor at that point. My back was starting to hurt. I was even telling you that." Kenzie says, Dom says, "If I was just so tired and just fell asleep in 2 minutes with the lights on, none of this would have happened." Kenzie said, "No, if you just told me you were tired and you wanted to go to bed, none of this would happen, but your dumb ass can't understand that. If you say something dumb to this, you're getting blocked. I'm over this conversation. You're literally draining the brain cells right out of my head." She says, "1 minute to reply." He says, "Okay, sorry, I fell asleep on you, Nug. Next time I'll tell you I'm going to lay down." She says, "Okay, now you can come get me and we can go to Heinen's." And this is 5:01 PM. He says, "I was just about to record. Can we go in a little?" She says, dot, 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 dot. She's sending a bunch of just dots. He says, "I'm just asking a question." She sends more dots. He says, What? We can't go in an hour?" She says, "Okay, you're getting blocked." He said, "I'm literally just asking a question, but okay, Kenzie." She says, "So you're fine with getting blocked?" There's another problem that we have in this relationship is you do not chase. Like, I'm going to have to end this relationship if you are not going to chase. I'm not going to be with a mother effer who doesn't try. Why does she just want to be chased? Hey, Tia. That was going to say that her hatred is building. Yeah, I can feel it. I feel that's what I meant earlier when I said, okay, she's premeditating, like she's already like lost her damn mind. It's just because she's crazy. She makes me feel so validated for going to work through my, yeah. She sounds so effing stupid. That's what Mallory said. She says, and I hate how she calls him these disrespectful names. She says, "I'm not gonna be with a mother effer who doesn't try." Um, why does she think it's okay to talk? And I'm just gonna give you guys a piece of advice. Not that you need it. But if you're talking to your partner like this, there's a problem. There's a major problem. And if your partner is acting like this or telling you what you can and can't do, or it's a red flag. Like there's all of these red flags we should all be aware of, which I'm sure most of you are. And the chase, what does that even mean? Like, what does that even mean? I thought that was when you guys were like just meeting each other or something, or like trying to talk to each other. Because if you want to be chased, get a dog. Wait, I want someone to chase me. Wait. Oh boy, here we go. Not like her though, because Dom hasn't stopped her from talking to him like that. I was a red flag at one point, can't lie. Jamie, thank you for your honesty. I was a huge red flag too. We'll talk about it later. Hey, Julie, you have to run to be chased. I guess get a dog if you want to be chased. She says, "I'm not going to be with a mother effer who doesn't try." Now you have 2 minutes to answer the phone. Actually, you have 1 minute to answer this message. I would answer right now. I would answer right now. She sends out one, two, three, four, five. Okay, she sends out 5 times the literal same message. Why? At least you can count to 5. She can only count to 5, remember? I chase my dogs. I'm done. She says that your time is about to be up. Look, I know you didn't just answer the phone. Wait. Okay, so it's 5:19. She says, I know you didn't just answer the phone. Now we actually have problems. Does she mean you didn't answer the phone? She says, you're effing blocked. You're such a little bee. You wonder why no one hangs with you except Blair. Now you're going to have to do a lot more than just take me to Heinen's to fix this. You effing retard. Wow. That was at 5:20 p.m. And then it jumps to 10:53 p.m. And she says, charger. I need the charger. Dom says, grab it out the studio room. Where you at? What you at? I'm only at 15%. Kenzie says, okay, that was at 10:55 p.m. Then it jumps to the 12th. She says, today and tomorrow are the last day for us to buy prom tickets. Dom says, buy them ASAP. She says, I will tomorrow. How about money? I pay 50, you pay 100. Question mark. Also, go like my TikTok. Dom said, yeah, that's fine. I got you. He says, what are you doing? She says, nothing right now. He said, didn't mean to hang up. There's a typo. She says, what? He says, didn't mean to hang up on you quick. I didn't know if you heard me say bye. Kenzie says, I didn't hear you say bye. Shelby and Grace want to go to town hall with me tonight. I think I'm going to go. Is that okay? Dom says, ew, okay. Kenzie said, is that a no? Like WTF? And then she sends a crying emoji face. He says, wait, she sends a crying emoji face at 7:38. And then he says, what, Nug? She says, you can't go one day without being a dick, huh? Dom says, I wasn't being one. I said, that's funny because it is. I didn't think you were done talking. Kenzie says, didn't even get ID'd. Dom says, LOL. She says, yeah, I F with the drink. It's cheap too. The cave also going to lose. The Cavs are also going to lose, I think. Dom says, I'm not watching. Me and Blair playing 2K. She says, actually, they might win now. Dom said, who are they playing? Kenzie sends a picture. She says, I don't know. ����𝐥𝐥𝐲 coming Saturday. Dom says, yeah, we're def losing that game. He says, yeah, and I don't know if I want to go. You know, it's funny how she can go out to have drinks with her friends. But if he goes out, she goes batshit crazy. Like it's really crazy how she can do what she wants, but Dom gets threatened and abused every time he tries to live his life. He says, yeah, and I don't know if I want to go. He says, F up my legs when we have to drive. Kenzie says, I'm down if you are. What do you mean? He says, I usually can't feel my legs for a week after I go to a concert. Well, like my feet. She says, I'm scared. Dom sends question marks. He says, what are you doing? She says, I'm driving home to you. He says, oh, are you drunk? Why are you scared? She says, in the hood. And I'm a little drunk. Oh, she's drinking and driving. It's 10:24 p.m. He says, drive patient, but get where you need to go and you'll be fine. Don't look at no one and don't draw attention. No one is going to do anything. Kenzie says, okay, I'm disrespecting. Scared. She says, I'm coming. She says, are you up? He says, yeah. She says, okay, I'm about to be there. And then it goes to the next day. She says, where are you at 10:29 a.m.? He says, studio. She says, come. It's warm AF. He says, are you on Fort? She says, no, I can be though. Want me to? He says, if you get on, let me know. I'm making a song right now, then might get on if I have time. She sends more TikTok links. She says, "You can let me know when you're on. I'm making TikToks. Let me know." She says, "Bruh, oh, hell no. You have 3 seconds to call me back or I'm actually going to be mad." She says, "Where are you at 8:01 PM?" She says, "Angelo is here." Dom said, "3 minutes." Kenzie sends some links. I don't know. She's sending links to something. Okay. And then it jumps to the 14th at 2:08 a.m. She says, "Are you up? Nug. I think I heard weird sounds from the basement." Oh, that was at 10:59 a.m. Then she says, wait, wait. So it's the 14th at 10:44 a.m. She says, "I think I hear weird sounds from the basement." How does that go backwards? The time like went backwards. Am I tripping? Because she says, "I think I hear weird sounds from the basement." And it says it's at 2. Oh, my bad. Oh my God. My bad. 2:10 a.m. And then she says, "Here at 10:15 a.m." He said, "1 sec. You can come grab me." She says, "About to be at the light." Dom says, "I'm waiting downstairs. So just pull up to door." Kenzie says, "Here." She says, "I'm on FaceTime." Dom said, "I'm about to be on the way. Whose car are we taking?" He says, "I gotta get gas." She said, "Yes." He said, "Is that it's not a yes or no question." She said, "Your car." He said, "Can we get Chipotle? I'm starving." She says, "You can, I'll drive." He says, "Okay, I'm on the way." She says, FOM, ask him about it. Dom says, "Tomorrow's trash day. If you see anything laying around the crib, could you put it in the trash?" And that was at 3:17 a.m. And then it jumps to 3:39 p.m. on the 15th. She says, "You look good in it. I like it. Unbutton your shirt a little bit." She says, "Nug, why is it here? Green." Dom says, "What is?" She said, "Or text. Never mind. Now it's blue." Dom said, "Oh, I don't know. Probably Beechwood shitty service." She says, "How long till you're home?" He says, "About to be on the way." She says, "I have to do with the police now. Apparently, I bumped somebody or some shit. I don't even know how. I hit somebody." Oh, she hit somebody and she didn't know. Was that the night she was driving? These texts are worse than ever. Kimberly. I know. Stan watching. She's so ignorant. She is. How does she have money? No, she doesn't have money. She was drinking. So was that night, you guys think that she was out? She bumped somebody? She says, "I bumped somebody or some shit. I don't even effing know how hit somebody. I think I would have known if I effing hit a car. They're saying that they think it's related to the bald man harassing me." Dom says, "How? Who's saying that you hit? Wait, who are they saying you hit?" Kenzie says, "They're saying I hit a car, but they're not saying who, so we don't know anything yet." Dom said, "That's so dumb. How would it be related?" Kenzie said, "I don't know. That's what they're thinking because I have no damage, obviously." She sends a picture of the car. She says, "Are you home?" He says, "Yeah," at 9:07 p.m. She says, "I'm about to come home." Dom said, "Bet, I might just leave in a sec, but it's right down the street." She said, "Babe." Okay, so now it jumps to 16. She says, "Babe." He said, "What, babe?" She says, "Come here," at 9:40 a.m. She said, "Nug, now." Dom says, "Do you have anything I can put on my foot, like a wrap or something?" Kenzie says, let me ask my mom." "When?" Dom says, "I want to hang out for a little. If dude wants at 6, then we're gonna leave like right now. But if he wants 6:30, we'll leave in like a half hour." Kenzie said, "Who's dude? I want to leave at 5:30. I'm hungry. AF." Dom says, You don't know him." She says, "Bruh," sends a bunch of question marks. She says, "I'm hungry AF. And this show is boring." Dom said, I'm sorry, I'm waiting for this dude to text back. We can probably just leave soon. Kenzie says, bruh, hurry. Now. I'm cold. She sends an address. He says, sorry, my phone died. Getting ready, though, just doing laundry. Oh, it jumped to the next day. So he says, sorry, my phone died. Just getting ready, though, doing laundry at 10:36 a.m. She says, when are you going to be out of the shower? He says, I'm out getting dressed. Kenzie says, do you want me to come get you now? We have a pack of 6 water bottles here and 2 potatoes. My mom wants us to go to Whole Foods, but I don't know. Let me know. Dom said, that's too far. You want to just do Allison's and Heinen's? Kenzie says, yeah, I would rather do that. My mom was just saying. Dom says, bet. Kenzie said, do you want me to come? Do you want me to come? Can you? She says, can you 𝐷𝐤𝐽? Dom says, yeah, you can try. Yeah, you can come trying to figure out money and stuff right now. What does that mean? You can 𝐷𝐤𝐽? Like, do you guys know what that stands for? What the hell does that mean? I know they're rappers. It's crazy how she thinks she sees Dom and Davion, but treated Dom like this before she killed him. He definitely is not the, yeah. Nope. Yeah, I don't know what that means. You mean the man that you followed and harassed? I'm confused about that. Jose Cuervo? No, Quavo like the rapper, I thought. I don't know, maybe it was a typo. She says she says, "Do you want me to come? Can you Quavo?" I think she meant to say, "Come get me. Can you get me?" But maybe a typo. He says, "Yeah, you can come trying to figure out money and stuff right now." She says, "Did you see what it looks like outside?" I'm on the way, but I'm just gonna stay in the car because it's snowing and I'm keeping my car warm. Just figure 50 to $100 a day more if you guys are going out to dinner to someplace fancy, but on average, that's about it. It's 50 to $100 a day for drinks and stuff at the parks. That does not include shopping or dinner. So that's really just an average. Your total is about 1,100 estimated. And if you do anything in the room, like room service and stuff, it can go up from there. So that's a $1,110 estimate. That's what Kenzie forwarded him. And then she says, here. He says, one sec. She says, come. He says, I got you a little filet. Oh, okay. So then that's the end of the 18th. Then he says, I got a little filet. Do we have potatoes there or a side you'd want? What floor are you on? She says, already in my car. 3? The floor my car is on? I don't know why you didn't follow me, but okay. Now I'm gonna just wait, I guess. He says, pull out. You'll see me. She says, and wait more? WTF? Answer. Wait, I'm confused. I don't know what they're talking about. Hold on, let me go back. So he says, you'll see me. She says, and wait more? WTF? Answer. She says at 8:31 p.m. And then she says, okay, we just picked outdoors. So was it like a restaurant or something? I'm assuming. And that's on 4/21. She says, okay, we just picked outdoor. And then it jumps to the 24th. So there's a couple days in between. And he says on the 24th at 10:13 p.m., Toph called the cops on me. Hey, Mary Beth. Good to see you, love. Oh, thank you, Amanda. Amanda says, I love this channel. Such a sweet personality. Oh, thank you. We're happy to have you here at Mellyverse. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right? Dom would be glad to be free from her. I know. If you haven't heard Melly karaoke, you need wait. We're doing karaoke later tonight, maybe. Yeah, we are. So get ready for it. Get ready to screen record. Okay, let's get into this. He said Toph called the cops on me at 4/24. Here we go with Toph. He says, don't come over till they're gone at least. Kenzie says, no effing way. What the F? Are you serious? And then that's it. That's all we know. Why do they do that? It doesn't tell us what happened with Toph. I'm gonna try to get that information. I'm gonna try to get that information. And then she sends links. She wants a white pearl necklace, whatever, whatever, clothing links, jewelry links. She says for prom on the 25th at 10:53 a.m. She says to rent. Dom said, which one for prom? She sends links, more links to jewelry. She wants to rent jewelry to wear to prom. Who does she think she is? Freaking Jennifer Aniston? Like, that name just popped into my head. I don't know why. She's sending more links and more links. Okay, and then Dom finally says at 12:52 p.m. I'm taking your car down the street real quick. So if you're wondering where I'm at, if you wake up, I'm just swooping my things from Kyle's. Kenzie said, I was just saying this is your last chance to come or I'm leaving. I wasn't being rude or a bitch. I'm going to leave now since you're clearly unstable. Whoa. So wait, he said he was going to Kyle's at 12:52 p.m. And then at 3:07 p.m., she says this, you're clearly being unstable. I will come back and get you when you're mentally okay. You ruined my charger and possibly my seat, so thank you. You don't see me throwing an effing 5-year-old fit. Dom says, no, I didn't. It's leather. My head hurts. I literally slammed it on my head. Kenzie says, I said possibly, and you ruined my charger that was on the seat. Dom says, I don't know if you've seen. The charger will be fine. Just don't use it for a day. And it just started raining. Your car got rained on 10 minutes tops. Kenzie says, I don't really give an F. You non-responsibly left my car opened. Oh, wow. He says, okay, it was an accident. Like you literally didn't even care that my head is swollen right now. You just care about your car seat. Like, what the F is wrong with you, honestly? Like, what the actual F? Can you ever think about me? Kenzie said, dude, just stop texting. You literally yelled at me for no reason when I asked you if you were coming over. Stop texting me until you're calm. What the hell happened? He says, whatever, Kenzie, change the subject. You obviously give 0 Fs. I'm just going to sit here and ice my head, I guess. Would you ever consider yourself to be a narcissist? Yes, Dom. She is. Kenzie said, sure, if that makes you happy. I was about to FaceTime you and show you what I got. You're literally insane. Stop reflecting yourself onto me. Dom said, that's what a narcissist would say. Kenzie said, then I guess I am. Dom says, I think you've become a narcissist. Kenzie says, get mental help. Dom says, I'm being serious. I'm not trying to be mean. Kenzie says, and I didn't ask. Now stop texting me. I'm so glad we didn't F this morning. Should have known this would be coming out of you. Oh, so they almost had sex, I guess. She says, you disgust me. Learn how to talk to women better. He says, that's what a narcissist would say again. Kenzie said, actually, not women, your girlfriend. Dom said, Kenzie, you're literally a narcissist. Kenzie says, you're literally bipolar. So what's your point? Dom says, like, you need to think about it. Kenzie says, and you need to think about your anger issues and bipolar. Dom said, that's exactly what a narcissist would say. Kenzie said, okay. She says, you can stop texting me now because we have issues. Dom says, if you don't want to try and change this, we will have to break up eventually because that can't become your personality. Kenzie says, I'm going to block you if you don't stop texting me, by the way. Then break up with me right now. Literally, then break up with me right now. I don't have time for this bullshit. Dom says, are you not going to acknowledge it or try to change it all? You literally just keep saying what a narcissist would say. Kenzie said, then break up with me now because I don't have time for your mental illness. Dom says, Kenzie, you're a narcissist and you don't realize it. Kenzie says, just because I think I'm an effing god doesn't mean I'm a narcissist. Now stop texting me. You're getting blocked if you send me one more message that I don't like. Kenzie says, they say a narcissist won't acknowledge that they are a narcissist. And they say they think they're gods and expect special treatment. They said they never say sorry. Kenzie sends a screenshot. And Dom says, quote unquote, I'm going to break up with you is manipulative. Lack of empathy, definitively. You never say sorry to me ever. And need for admiration, obviously, you obviously have that. You want to be famous and a model and all that attention and all that. Checked every single box, babe. Kenzie says, LOL in caps. You are disgusting. Break up with me, pig. Wow, this is so bad. Call her out. I know, I know, I know. We're like, yes, Dom, go, Dom, go. She says, pig. He says, wow. She says, every girl wants to be famous. You're disgusting. Dom says, what a narcissist would say. Kenzie said, blocked. She says, why are you making music? I wouldn't release any of your music because you're only looking for admiration. And didn't you just threaten to break up with me, like right up there? Do you want me to take a screenshot of you? Are you okay? And then she sends a screenshot of a text message. And Dom says, all I said was, if you can't acknowledge it or try to change, we'll eventually have to break up. Kenzie says, not sure what you're going through right now, but you're going to need to fix this later on because you're just being a complete DICK for no reason. That's the same thing. Dom said, all I was saying is you show narcissist traits. Kenzie said, and you show abusive traits. You know how I like when you get mad, you literally break things and become violent. Dom says, I was asking of you if you would consider yourself one. Kenzie says, you don't see me complaining and personally attacking you. How will I know it will never get worse and you'll actually hit me one day? Oh my gosh. Kenzie, if anyone's afraid of anyone, we're all afraid of you and Dom because you're a psycho. Not every girl wants to be. He's afraid of you. Like, what do you mean? I know. He says, yeah, I break things and get violent, but usually you're showing some of those traits when I do. And there you go. That's what a narcissist would say. Kenzie said, when you're having a little 5-year-old tantrum, I just sit there in silence and you keep trying to talk to me and jab at me. This is not what a narcissist would do. I'm pretty sure if I was a narcissist, my parents would already have me on medication for that, knowing how they are. Um, no, your parents didn't have you on medication. They failed at that. And they basically failed at life because they had you. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Anyways, moving on. I guess that's mean because now she's in jail and they're, I don't know, maybe they could have changed, but I don't believe it. Natalie Shirilla is ignorant. She's wannabe Mackenzie. She enables her to be a demon child and do this to Dom. She can't sit there and act like she doesn't know how her own child is. So yeah, Natalie Shirley, I think you're trash. Anyways, Kenzie says, and I'm pretty sure if I was a narcissist, my parents would already have me on medication, knowing how they are. Dom says, no, you show no empathy to me and are mean. That's usually when I act out. Kenzie says, remember when I was literally sick every day with a headache and I felt like I was going to puke and all you cared about is FaceTiming Blair and smoking your backwood? That's not really showing empathy, to be honest. So are you a narcissist too? Maybe you should go to the gym and work out and get some of that anger out, buddy. Because if you keep taking your anger out on me, this is not going to end well for us. Dom says, well, I've asked myself that before and no, because I show empathy towards people and don't just think about myself. I'm not. I'm calm. I'm just trying to have a real talk about our relationship. Kenzie says, sounds like you're trying to have a real talk about me being a narcissist. Dom says, well, we're together. So if we're having a talk about you, it's about us. Kenzie says, everybody can be a little more compassionate. That doesn't make me an effing narcissist. Remember the other day how you said you have better things to do than pick up trash on the side of the road? Yeah, that's kind of sounding narcissistic to me. That's not narcissist, Kenzie. That's what community service is for. Like, why would he want to do that? I don't wanna pick up trash off the floor. Like, I mean, I'll do 1 plus 1. Like, if I'm walking and I see a piece of trash, I'll pick up I'll throw away my trash and then someone else's trash, but, like, has to be, like, right in front of me. How does someone this young get this bad? Because it's Natalie Shirilla's fault. Um, Prison is your medication, Kenzie. That's why Natalie said, "Maybe this preventing you from something worse." Yeah. Oh, you're a narcissist, Mr. Bean with the mustache. Okay, Dom says, "I can't remember you saying sorry ever." Kenzie says, "Actually, I did say sorry. Remember when we were fighting and it was right before I found out you were texting Emily? So then my apology was taken back." That was like last month or 2 months ago. Dom said, "No, Kenzie, that's because I have to support myself." I said, "Let me see what I have going on that day." Kenzie said, "You probably don't remember because you were too busy texting Emily, trying to sip lean with her and smoke a blunt." Dom said, "You're just acting more and more like a narcissist, babe." Kenzie says, "No, that's not what you said. You said you have better things to do. Here we go, the revolving door. I'm done texting you. Go to the gym, stop throwing a fit, and stop texting me. I don't have time for your mental breakdown right now." Dom says, "I'm not really having one." That's what a narcissist would say again. They always try to say the other person is a problem, and you are a gaslighting narcissist behavior saying I have mental illnesses. I'm throwing a fit. L- throwing a fit, literally, you've only acted like a narcissist this whole time. Like for real, I'm trying to tell you and ask you to consider and change because I love you. Kenzie says, "Then break up with me, for real." Dom says, "Even if you're not a total narcissist, you're showing a lot of behavior." Kenzie says, "I don't like the weird attitude you're getting right now." She says, "And you're showing extreme signs of future abuse. Everybody has shit they have to deal with. I'm obviously not a narcissist. If that's how you truly feel about me, why do I want to be with somebody who looks at me that way? I plan to clean up trash on the highway. I love animals. I defend all your friends. I don't need you telling me how I am and how I feel on the inside. I'm more conscious than any of those people. I'm more self aware than any of those people. I'm more self aware than you. I see everything. I know everything. I don't need you telling me what's going on. Is this all really because I didn't care that you hit your head on my door after you left my door open in the rain?" Dom says, "Literally what a narcissist would say again. Again, you just keep doing it over and over again." Kenzie says, "Maybe you should look up what a narcissist means." Dom says, "I read a book on it." Kenzie said, "What's wrong?" Damn, I'm just trying to have a real talk about a relationship right now. Dom says, "I know exactly what they are." Kenzie said, I forgot you were an expert." I don't think you know exactly what anything is until you've been through it. If I was a narcissist, I would have stopped texting you a while ago, but I'm trying to make your head understand. Dom says, "Kenzie, I'm just considering this now and telling you, you show a lot of narcissist behavior, and I don't want you to become one, and you should work on some of those habits. I love you, but I'm not trying to say anything bad about you." Kenzie says, "Well, at least we have stuff to work on. I'm only 17, and that does not make me a narcissist once again. Actually, you already did said multiple bad things about me. That's not the only reason I want to be an effing model. I want to be a model so the whole world knows who I am and I can make a goddamn change." When yeah, make a change when you kill your boyfriend and drive into a wall at 100 miles per hour. Yeah, the change is don't date a toxic, crazy person. He had to die because Dom had her figured out. Exactly, Alicia. Exactly. Mackenzie's trash on the side of the world. I wasn't sure at first, but I'm starting to see that she did on purpose. Yes, we all okay, remember 29,000 pages ago of text when I said, "I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt until we read through all of these." We kind of did. As a collective here together at Mellyverse, we were like, "All right, let's get through these." And for those of you, and I know who you are, who have been here for every live we have done of these readings, which is almost 40 lives, more than 40, you would know, like, we've seen how this has progressed and how she totally did this intentionally. I mean, I know some of us already believed that, but it's like reading through these just affirmed that and showed us that it's absolutely true. She did this intentionally. I tried to do the POTS thing and like, okay, maybe she has mental health issues because sometimes mental health issues do make you do crazy things. I have been there before. And I just want to empathize with that and make sure that I roll everything out. I guess what I'm trying to say is I was trying to not judge her so hard if it was a mental health thing, but like now I'm for sure that she's just a crazy, abusive psychopath, bitch. Thank you for my speech. Okay. Dom said, and you say way worse, Kenzie. I didn't even say that till you sent me that. And Kenzie says, you just earned your way to never coming to any of my shoots again. Thank you for showing me how unsupportive of my modeling journey you are. Sent you what? You literally just said that out of nowhere, trying to hurt me for no effing reason. Dom said, screenshot is good. Screenshot Google. I'm not trying to hurt you, Kenzie. Kenzie says, I don't care what effing mood you are in. You're going to treat me good or this isn't much of a relationship. I don't know what's wrong with you right now. No, clearly you are because somebody who loves me wouldn't talk to me this way. Dom says, Kenzie, I'm asking you to consider if you're a narcissist. You literally say the meanest shit to me and never say sorry. I'm not even saying you're the one. I'm just pointing, you are one. I'm just pointing it out because for real, like if some of this can't change, this relationship will end. We need healthy boundaries. Kenzie says, I literally showed my mom this conversation and she is saying the only thing I need to work on is my level of compassion. That does not make me an effing narcissist. Now stop texting me because we have problems. Kenzie, the number one problem is you're going to your mom for advice. And Natalie Shirilla doesn't ever get her head out of her ass. So I think you should go talk to a mental health professional and ask your mom, not ask your mom about the narcissist diagnosing you. Because Natalie Shirley doesn't know shit other than she gave birth to a baby demon. Like you were coming out of the womb and she saw like devil horns on you. So she's going to tell you whatever to make you feel better. Like, that's it. Period. Okay. She says, that does not make me an effing narcissist. Now stop texting me because we have problems. Somebody who loves me would never talk to me this way. You have many things that you need to work on too. Maybe we can support each other and help each other grow without being disrespectful and trying to hurt me. Dom says, I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just telling you, you're a narcissist. I literally read a book on it. You want to read it too? Kenzie said, that does not make you an effing professional. And I'm telling you, you're abusive if you want to play that game. Dom said, no compassion is one of the main traits of it too. Kenzie said, and I've been diagnosed with multiple things, and that has never been one of them. Thank you, Dr. Russo. Ah, multiple things diagnosed, eh? I'm curious. What all? Hmm. She brought mom Yeah, it's probably Natalie sending those texts anyways. Because Natalie wishes Steve cared about her that much. Not me throwing so much shade. I'm sorry, guys. She doesn't like it when Dom asked his mom for advice. Yeah, you're right, Amy. She doesn't like when Dom asked his mom for advice on Valentine's Day, and now it's okay for her to go to her mom. Yeah, team Dom. Yes, Molly, you're correct about McKiller. Yeah, she's still a narcissist in prison. Those phone calls, I know. I'm disgusted. Team Dom, exactly. Um, he says, I'm not Kenzie. You are, if anything, you threaten me and say mean things. Kenzie says, I would stop right now if I was you before this gets bad. Kenzie says, Dom says, and you're going to say you're going to break up with me. That's abusive. Kenzie says, didn't you just call me a B yesterday and tell me I'm terrible at driving? We both say things which obviously is not good and should stop, but I don't see that stopping for you. Didn't you just threaten to break up with me today? So clearly that's not much of a big deal to you. I mean, if you're going to end this relationship, let you do it right now because I don't have time for your shit. You're disrespectful and you're trying to hurt me right now and it's not working. Dom said, yeah, you say I'm a DICK. Same thing. And I never say you're a B. That word is used similar to complaining, like, why are you bitching at me? I'd say that to anyone. It's not referring to female at all. Kenzie said, so if you smoke weed, does that make you a full drug addict? Dom says, again, being a narcissist, why are you pointing the problem at me when I'm just trying to ask you to consider some things and make some changes for the better being of you and me so we can live a happy, healthy relationship? Kenzie says, this will never be a happy, healthy relationship on the way you were talking to me right now. Dom says, I'm literally not talking bad at all. I haven't said anything but point out the narcissist behaviors you're acting in. Kenzie said, that's the point. That's all you have said. You're not trying to fix anything and you're trying to personally attack me. I'm done texting you. You just have caused problems for no reason. Dom said, no, I'm not. I'm just asking you to consider it and try a change. I'm not personally attacking you. I'm just saying you're acting this way. Kenzie says, do you like when I tell you that you're bipolar and abusive? Dom says, how am I bipolar? I do when it's just a response to something I said to you, because then you try to say something, you try to say I'm the problem for bringing up something reasonable and important in our relationship. Kenzie said, me having to be more compassionate does not make me a narcissist. It hurts that you look at me that way, and I can't even believe that you think that of me. He's calling you a narcissist, but you call him a pig. So like Dom can't believe that either. Like it goes both ways, Kenzie. Dom says it's not just that, and I'm not looking at you any type of way. I'm telling you in black and white definition and facts, and you're living a lot of them. Kenzie says, yes, I'm aware. You've told me multiple times. That's all this conversation has been. You telling me I'm a narcissist. You don't need to keep rubbing my nose in it. Like, what the F? Thank you for letting me know you think I'm a terrible person. Dom says, I'm not asking you to realize it. I'm not. I'm asking you to realize it and change these habits. I don't think you're a terrible person. I think you're too good of a person. And those habits protect you. Kenzie says, I'm allowed to protect myself. Everybody has mechanisms, and so do you. If you can't see all the good I do for people, then what is this relationship? What good do you do for people, Kenzie? I have not seen one of your friends try to vouch for you while you've been incarcerated. What good have you done other than schmurder to people by driving 100 miles per hour into a brick wall? What good did you do there? $115,000 later for the brick wall. And Dom dead and Davion dead. Literally chopped me in the car. Like Dom says, "No, Kenzie, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying you act these way psychologically so you don't get hurt. I do see the good you do. Why do you think I'm with you? Because I know you're an amazing person." Kenzie says, I see that you want me to be more compassionate, but you did not give a single F that I was sick yesterday and you were just being mean to me and you don't see me coming at you. And I don't really care that you read a book that doesn't really do anything. Dom says, you were coming at you. I said all of that after you were mean to me. I did care before I said anything. I said, no, just let me drive. You're all sick and going to be all angry. I was looking out for you. I didn't want you driving sick and then feeling more like shit. And I didn't want you speeding and getting a ticket. Kenzie says, maybe you could have said it nicely instead of telling me I'm an accident waiting to happen, telling me I'm bad at driving and that I'm a B word. Do you know if you worded it that way, you would have definitely had a better outcome? Dom says, I just say those things after you say things to me. It's hard not to react like at first I was nice. I said, just let me stretch my legs. Hurt will be on the Let me stretch. My legs hurt. We'll be on the road in 10 minutes. Kenzie says, we were in the car for 15 hours at that point. That is no excuse. And I was starting to get sick and I did not want to wait 10 minutes for you to stretch. I was just going to drive so you could stretch your legs and not be on your butt. What is even happening? I'm so over this. Dom says, you're the one who brought this up. I don't know what this is either. Kenzie said, no, you're the one who started calling me a narcissist for no effing reason. Next time you hit your head on my car, I will literally come rush you to the ER and be there for you all day. Dom said, look, I just want you to try and realize what I'm talking about and what you do and try to make a change. Kenzie said, I said that like 85 times. You're just rubbing my nose in it at this point. I already told you like 8 times that I know I can be a little more compassionate. I obviously can read. I'm not an effing RETARD. Dom says, no, it's a lot more than that, and you need to change. I'm not trying to rub it in your nose. Kenzie says, okay, I'm done talking to you. You either love me through my flaws or you don't and get over it. Dom says, that's different. This is directly how you treat other people. Kenzie said, so are we not talking about us anymore? Like, what the F is this conversation? Because it's not going anywhere. Dom says, I just want to know you're going to try and change. Kenzie says, how many more times do you want me to say that? Do I have to take screenshots? Dom says, no, just think it's about compassionate. Wait, he says, and not just think it's about compassion. Kenzie says, okay, so you're still going to rub it in my face, is what I'm getting. Dom said, no, I'm just trying to get my point fully across because you're not realizing it, because you're just trying to point the finger at me with anything you can or point out any flaw you can, which is more narcissist behavior. Kenzie says, no, I understand what you're saying. What the F? How many more times do I have to say this for you to stop rubbing it in my effing face? Dom says, when will you stop saying it like a narcissist? Kenzie said, obviously, I need to be more compassionate. I'm working on that. And I've been working on that for a long time. I don't need you to tell me what I need to work on. I'm a different person today than I was a month ago. I change every week. A narcissist would not acknowledge this at all, and they would ignore you. And I would have stopped talking to you a long time ago if I was a narcissist. Now stop effing calling me a narcissist. This is insane. It's interesting how she lost her power since he called her out. I know. Never heard of her doing anything good for anyone. I know. The tides have turned. I know. They have. Mm, she's evil. Um, okay, Dom says, you can't say it without being mean. And at first you didn't acknowledge it and was mean to me and you said you were going to block me, but then I told you that's what a narcissist would do. You saying I already changed. You keep saying I already said it 85 times or something like that means trying to point it at me like I can't listen or something. Kenzie says, well, clearly you weren't listening because I've said it more than 3 times. So it looks like you're the one not getting it. Dom says, again, you keep doing it. I heard you say it every time. Kenzie says, clearly you're just going to keep pointing fingers at me. So I'm going to stop texting you. If you heard me say it every time, we, if you hear me say it every time we F, if you hear me say it every time, what the F are you still going on? Why are you still why are you still calling me a narcissist after I told you to stop? Dom says, but only point fingers and be defensive with it. Kenzie says, somebody who loves me would not treat me this way. Dom says, I'm just pointing out how you're treating me bad. Again, you just did it. Again, trying to make me the problem and make me feel as if I'm doing something wrong, but I'm just bringing up the wrong you do to me. Kenzie said, I literally said, I understand. Like, what do you need me to do on my life? What more do you want me to effing say? Like, how many times do I need to tell you, oh my effing God, this is literally making me so mad? Dom says, you're literally being defensive, babe. Like, you won't realize anything. It's not what you don't say, it's what you keep saying. Kenzie says, I'm done texting you. Clearly, this conversation is a revolving door. So, just like our relationship. Why does she keep saying revolving door? Is she using that wrong, like in the wrong term? Revolving door. What? The conversation is a resolving door. Oh, resolving door. I think she meant revolving. Okay. Dom says again, making it seem like I'm the problem, making the conversation a revolving door, but really it's you who can't stop. Like it would be better if you just said nothing than that, or even the last thing. Kenzie said, first of all, we're going to start right here. I am not a narcissist. Second of all, you should really apologize on how you talk to me, telling me that I'm doing modeling because I need attention. And that is the most disgusting thing I think you've ever said to me in my whole life. Third of all, I said, you don't understand over 5 times. And now I don't care if it's not enough for you. I'm not even going to lie. You really messed up this relationship today. Like, I can't even believe you said any of this to me. Good to know how you feel about me and how you think about me. Dom says, I didn't even consider that at all. That's just what you sent me. It, I mean, more how you act towards me. I just want to set healthy boundaries and letting you know when you act in those ways I was talking about, it's narcissist and it hurts my feelings. And I don't want to deal with that kind of cruelness. Kenzie said, if my family doesn't think I'm a narcissist, then I'm not. Once again, this is your last chance to stop calling me that. How about you read how you've been talking to me all day? We've been talking for over 5 hours and you're just calling me a narcissist in every single message and telling me I'm only modeling for attention. Dom said, no, I said that once, and that's not my point at all. My point is you treat me like shit in a narcissist way in a lot of situations. Don't try and make it about that. I already said what I was saying. I don't care about all that. I'm telling you, I want you to change how you treat people. Kenzie says, well, I'm telling you that I do care about that. And that was extremely disgusting and disrespectful that you ever said that to me. And I told you like effing 85 goddamn times that I'm going to change. What are you not effing getting? Holy goddamn. I'm so over this convo. You've been personally dragging me down all day, trying to hurt me for no effing reason, all because you hit your effing head on a car door when you left my window open in the rain. Dom said, this convo keeps going because you keep saying things like this. He said, show me change. You keep acting like I'm the problem. I'm the one bringing up the problem. You can't try and pin something on me. That's the narcissist part I'm talking about. And you have just come and you have just do it over and over again for hours. Kenzie said, so what you're saying is I have to change, but you haven't changed in months. This is not working out. If you can't see the good, then what is this relationship? Dom said, I do. That's why I'm asking you to change the bad. And again, you're trying to pin it towards me. Kenzie said, if I'm going to change, then so are you. That is what I'm saying. I'm not putting anything on you, but if you feel that way, the shoe fits. Dom says, what are you saying? I have to change. You haven't said anything to me about changing until I bring up problems that I have. Kenzie said, that's exactly what you do to me too. So I guess we're doing the same thing we do to each other. You're going to start you're going to start chasing. You're going to start showing me more affection and love me, going to start taking more pictures and you're going to make me feel more loved. And then, yeah, I will change for you too. Dom says, I will not chase. I show plenty of affection. I'm actually the first to engage in any affection. I feel most of the time I take pictures whenever you want me to, but you're mean about it. And that's part of the problem. If I take a photo wrong, you don't just tell me to take it different. You're so quick to say I'm terrible at taking photos and you don't even want to take any more. And I'm such a problem. That's part of the narcissist behavior. It's pointing out any imperfection a person may do. But if you're going to hold on to feelings against me, why would I chase you and push more feelings on you? That's narcissist behavior from you. And then I'd be the empath. Kenzie says, I'm not changing if you're not going to chase. Dom said, that's narcissistic. That's saying you want me to be your empath. Kenzie said, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I want you to chase. I don't know where you're getting this random information from. Clearly, you're not understanding a word I'm saying. Dom said, Kenzie, that's a narcissist behavior. Do you want to read the book? This is clear black and white push and pull situation from the book. Kenzie says, remember, you're not an expert because you read a book. And if you keep saying that, I'm going to stop texting. I could actually give 2 Fs about the book. Dom says, it's only facts and it makes sense. Kenzie said, if you do not like how I'm acting, you clearly cannot think highly of me, then end this relationship right now. I don't care. And it doesn't make any sense. You think you're an expert because you read a book. Honestly, you sound delusional. Dom said, so you're saying you know more about it than me and you haven't read a book? Kenzie said, if you can't think highly of me and see all the good I do and only point out the few bad things, then end this relationship. Dom said, I have read many books that have talked about it. I need to know what book this is. Kenzie said, I'm saying I'm not a narcissist, and this is your last chance to stop calling me that. I'm sorry that your family effed you up, but I'm not like that, and neither is my family. Dom said, narcissism is also in manipulation books. Kenzie said, I'm going to need you to stop playing doctor now. Dom says, you keep doing it over and over and over again. Kenzie says, okay, break up with me right now. I'm dead ass serious. I'm so done with this. You clearly can't see all the good I do, and you clearly think very low of me. So end this relationship because I'm over this. I am effing serious as F. I've asked you over 5 times to stop calling me a narcissist, and you won't stop. I've also told you many times I'm going to work on my compassion, and you do not understand that either. So what is the point of being in a relationship if you're just going to be extremely rude? Tell me I only want to model for attention and keep telling me that I'm a narcissist and rubbing it in my face that you're not going to see any of the good I do. So what is the point? Dom says, no, I haven't. You keep saying narcissistic things, so I tell you that it's narcissistic. Kenzie says, break up with me. I am over this relationship. Dom says, I'm just telling you what you do. Kenzie said, and there you go again, calling me a narcissist after I've asked you now 7 times. Break up with me. I am done. Dom says, I didn't. Kenzie says, you can't see any of the good I do. Effing end this relationship if you're not going to stop. Question mark, question mark, question mark. I would answer right now. He says, I do see all of the good. I'm just asking you to realize this and change it. You said you would. I know that, but you just keep saying narcissistic things back. And I'm just pointing them out, not saying you're a narcissist, but saying what you said is narcissistic. Kenzie goes, there you go again. Why the literal F would I change for you when you keep calling me a goddamn narcissist? Why would I change for you when you can't even chase me? Just because you have me doesn't mean you can stop chasing. Dude, end this relationship. I'm done. Oh my God. Baby Jesus, why didn't you just let this end? Like, why? Why? He's spot on. I'm screaming. Are you guys screaming? Let me see the chat. I love the way you read these, Melly. I'm screaming. Can you guys imagine if they would have just broke up here? He would still be alive, maybe. She sounds so stupid when she says chase me. Yeah, what is that? Like, I need some hot little man to come chase me, but not like this, you know? Okay. She says, I'm done. He says, and there you go again. You act like I'm the problem when I'm just pointing something out that I want you to change. When I clearly said, I'm not calling you a narcissist, I'm saying what you said is. Kenzie said, right now, you are the problem. I've been showing my mom this whole combo. Okay, let me say this one more time. Natalie Shirilla, we don't care what the F you have to say. Like, we don't care. We probably know you scrounge TikTok or in YouTube to see what people are saying about you. It loses all effectiveness when telling them to change. I can't believe this. Yeah, Natalie Shirley, you suck. I've been showing my mom this combo. Like, if your mom was a goddess in relationships and was like a saint and was the epitome of a perfect person in a relationship, then yeah, please go to your mom and let me know what she says. Other than that, I don't want to hear anything that Natalie Shirley has to say. Period. Not me getting mad. She says, I've been showing my mom this whole convo. She agrees with me. Kenzie says, end this relationship. Dom says, okay, I'm just pointing out black and white facts. Your mom wants us to break up anyway. Then why didn't she force her skanky little daughter? Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm being mean now. I'm being mean. She's sick just like you. Yeah, I know. Melly's standing on business. Hey, Marvin. Natalie, where are you? We need you to come take out the trash. That's exactly right. Then Kenzie says, my mom does not want us to break up. I don't know where you're getting that information from. And I'm just pointing out the black and white facts as well. I would answer right now if I was you, because I'm really getting effing over this bullshit. Dom says, you can keep saying I'm calling you a narcissist when I'm just saying what you said or do is. And I don't know about that. Kenzie says, "You're more of a goddamn narcissist than me. I shouldn't be scared of you when you're mad." Dom says, "No, I'm not at all, actually. I said I'm sorry all the time. I admit when I'm the problem." Kenzie says, "After I tell you to. Your apologies mean nothing, and you know that." Dom says, "I don't say other people are the problem when they confront me." Kenzie says, "Well, since we're talking about problems, let's just bring them all up." Dom says, "Okay, change the subject. I'm done with this. When you can respond to me and not be some type of mean, we can talk." Kenzie says, "No, I'm telling you to end this relationship. I've been wasting my life with you. Wait, I've been wasting my time with you all day, and you've just been a complete a-hole." Dom says, "No, I haven't. I just said that I have a problem with you, and you've only had bad things to say back. And I'm just pointing them out. No a-hole at all. If you want me to end it so bad, you end it, because I'm just asking you to change some things for me. If you're not willing to try, then you end it." Kenzie says, "Aw, are you trying to belittle how I feel?" Dom, "End this relationship." He emphasizes his message. She said, "Also, are you trying to turn it back on me right now after I told you to end this if you have such a problem?" Dom says, "I can't end it. I love you. I want things to work out." Oh, screaming. Kenzie says, I think then I'm not gonna change for you." Wow. How sad. Dom says, "I just want to change some things." Kenzie says, "You're not going to chase. I'm not changing." Dom says, "I don't want you to be mean like that." Kenzie says, "I also don't want a boyfriend who just FaceTime his girlfriend Blair all day and doesn't chase." Dom says, "I constantly chase you, but not when you push me away. That's when it becomes a toxic situation and you're in charge of it. That's just toxicity waiting to happen." Kenzie says, "I'm not changing if you're not going to chase. Thanks for wasting my day because I wanted to go to Whole Foods. Thank you so much for trying to hurt me all day. I will never forget what you said to me about modeling, and you're never coming to one of my shoots ever again." Kenzie says, "Should have known you were an evil eye." Dom says, "I was just trying to ask you to stop hurting me. I said that off the top of my head because I don't care about that and it shouldn't be taken seriously. This is a mean behavior I'm talking about. I'm not the problem till I say you're the problem." Kenzie said, "Isn't that narcissistic to not care how I feel?" Dom says, "I wasn't saying that. You know what? I'm just not gonna point it out because you probably don't even care and we'll just say I'm the problem or something." Kenzie says, "You're the problem every single day. End this relationship or get over it. I'll change if you do. Honestly, this whole conversation is giving you just want to argue." Dom says, "You're all over the place. I'm not responding to any of that." Kenzie says, "If you start chasing, I will change too." Dom says, you if you want me to change, if you want me, you will change what I asked and understand it. If you don't want to do that, then I guess we'll break up. I can't chase you if you run." Kenzie says, "I don't give a single F at this point. You've been annoying the F out of me all day. Good to know. I think we should end this relationship. I know 1 million people that would chase me even if I was on a goddamn airplane going 1 million miles per hour. It's sad because I thought you would be too. I guess you're too lazy and comfortable." Dom says, "And eventually they're going to get tired and I'll leave." Kenzie says, "No, they're not." Dom said, "That's not how it works." Kenzie said, "So I'm going to give you one last chance to start chasing. And in return, I'm going to change for you as well. But if you can't do that, then this relationship is over. You just drain all of the positive energy out of everybody around you." I'm screaming. Kenzie, you're literally talking about yourself. Like, you literally are talking about yourself. "Stop projecting your childhood problems onto me," she says. I cannot stand people who do this, who like bring up like childhood problems or like, you know, when it's not even about that. Like they're not even talking about this. Dom says, "Wow. Yeah, wow. Thank you, Dom." Thank you. He says, I'm done pointing it out. Just wow. When you can text me like a normal person, I guess we'll talk about us. Till then, I don't know. I'm not talking to you. Kenzie says, we were fine this morning. You hit your head on my car and then you just been mean to me all day. Like to do the switch up flip when you hit your head or something. Dom says, this has been a problem I've been pointing out for a while. Not narcissists specifically, but your lack of compassion towards anyone. Kenzie says, I'm done. You're slow AF. Dead ass, end this right now. Right now. Right now. Dom says, I haven't even been mean to you, only have just told you how I felt and what you've done to make me feel like. She says, right now. 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 Okay. She says right now 2 more times. And then she says, end this right now. And then she says, and again and again. She says, if you're not going to chase, then I don't want to be in this. You wasted my whole day trying to diagnose me, shit on my modeling. You're a terrible person. And this is all because you hit your head on my car. Honestly, embarrassing AF for you. You acting immature and childish AF. To be honest, I don't care what the F you think of me at this point because clearly you don't even know me at all. I never thought you would ever talk to me like this or say things like this to me, but I guess you did. And I wonder what the F happened when you hit your head. You must have hit your head hard AF. Like F. If I knew you were going to be mean to me all day, I would have just taken you to the ER for your head right away. Dom says, I'm not being mean. I'm just pointing out how mean you are to me. I shouldn't have I shouldn't have responded for real. I'm not talking to you till you can show some type of effort and change. Kenzie says, you're not getting effort or change, so end this relationship. If you're not going to chase after me and show me that you want to be with me, then I'm not going to do anything for you. I'm seriously so effing glad we did not have sex today. My angels had my back this morning. That's what I thought. I love how you care so much about wasting time, yet you have just wasted a whole day where we could have just had fun together, but you wasted it. What's it going to be? I would answer right now or I'm going to block you. You have 3 minutes. I'm starting timer right now. Dom says, better to wait one day than to keep wasting them. Better to waste one than to keep wasting them. Text me when you want to show change. Kenzie said, are we really going to break up right now because I'm not changing? You're going to start chasing and treating me better. Then I'm going to change as well. I would answer right now. Dom says, I'm not going to chase. That is the only thing that is only going to make our relationship toxic. I will not if you run. Kenzie says, so are you going to or are you not going to? You're not making any sense. I would be answering fast if I was you. 2 minutes. Dom says, Kenzie, if you threaten to break up with me and push me away, I'm not going to chase you. Kenzie says, you're the only one that's been threatening to break up. And you're also the one trying to diagnose me. Dom says, but if you mean it as in I'm going to keep trying every day, like we're not dating yet, then yeah, I'm going to chase. What? That doesn't make sense. But if you mean it as in I'm gonna keep trying every day, like we not dating yet, then yeah, I'm gonna chase. Kenzie says, you're also the one and the reason why this fight started. Dom says, but if you're pushing me away, I'm not gonna chase. Kenzie said, I never push you away. I do not know where you're getting that from. Dom says, what do you mean by chasing then? Kenzie said, if I say I'm leaving, I want you to say no. I want you to tell me to come with you. I want you to act just like we're not dating and still act like you have to still come get me. Dom emphasizes his message. She said, okay, cool. You must be busy right now, huh? Because if I was you, I would be answering in less than 1 minute. Dom says, I already told you I would chase you if you meant by this. Kenzie says, I literally just told you what I meant. She sends a bunch of question marks, more question marks, and more question marks. Dom says, I already told you I would. Kenzie says, I also should never have to tell you to apologize. I would be effing answering fast if I was you. I don't know why you're not understanding this. Dom emphasized his message about showing change. She says, okay, 3 minute timer starting right now. Dom says, this is not what we're doing, not responding to those kind of comments. Kenzie said, all you need to do is answer fast. I don't know why that's such a problem for you unless you're doing something suspicious. Dom said, I'm watching basketball with my mom. Kenzie says, another thing you were supposed to do that you stopped is telling me that you're not cheating on me every day. And you obviously stopped doing that for some reason too. Um, you need to break up at that point. Like, why? She's so pathetic. He doesn't need to tell you he's not cheating on you. Like, he's with her basically all damn day. Why did he ever let anyone treat him like this? I know. It's so bad. Wants him to beg for forgiveness. I know. Yeah. She says, you obviously stopped doing that for some reason too. Dom said, it's over now. Kenzie said, I don't care that you're with me every day. If you want to cheat, you will find the time. Why the F are you not answering fast? More question marks. Then she says, dude, WTF, last chance. Dom said, I'm not answering you because you're just trying to bring up random old shit that wasn't a problem till I brought this up. I told you, show me change and I'll talk to you. Kenzie said, oh, so that's how it's going to be? So you're not going to chase? I'm going to block you in 5 minutes. So I would literally fix this right now. I would be answering fast if I was you because you're making this so bad for yourself. Dom said, that's not what you said by chasing. I'm not talking to you till you're done trying to attack me. Kenzie says, answering fast is part of chasing. If you were trying to get me, you would be answering fast. I'm not attacking you at all right now. Dom says, if you wanted to change, you would have said your last 20 messages differently. Kenzie says, if you were going to chase, you would have sent. Wait, if you wanted to change, you would have said your last 20 messages differently. And then Kenzie says, if you were going to chase, you would have sent your last 20 messages differently. Should we just break up? I'm done with this. You don't treat me like a girlfriend and you have been mean to me for 2 days straight. Dom says, I wasn't mean to you at all today. I just told you how I felt about how you act towards me. Kenzie said, no, you try to diagnose me, shit on my modeling, then waste my whole day. Then that doesn't change that you were mean to me yesterday too. So maybe we should end this relationship because clearly this isn't going anywhere and you're not giving an F. Dom says, no, I wasn't. I was asking you and you keep bringing that part up when I said I thought of that in 10 seconds and I am disregarding it. And you were the one who started the fight and I fixed it. I wasn't mean yesterday either. You were provoking me. Kenzie says, you did not fix it. I was not provoking you yesterday either. Dom said, then shading me. Kenzie said, that fight is not fixed. You clearly do not give an F and you're not going to change. Dom says, you're just trying to put it on me like I'm done with this and I'm actually done texting you now till you stop the bullshit. I'm not giving in anymore. Dom says, you're not going to threaten me and make me text back. You want anything from me? Show me you're trying to change, not trying to prove I'm the problem or something. Kenzie says, if this isn't resolved tonight, then we're breaking up. I'm sorry, but I can't deal with this right now. That's literally not a threat. I'm just telling you how I feel. Dom says, what you want me to resolve? I've just been asking you to change. If you've only gotten mad. I guess if you don't resolve this, then we're done. So show me you're trying to change, I guess. And if you don't, then I guess you're going to have to break up with me tonight. Kenzie says, I can't effing show you that. I'm going to change in 1 day. It's going to take time to show you anything. You can start chasing right now. And clearly you're not doing that. I will literally break up with you at 12 if this is not fixed. Dom says, show me you're trying. You're obviously not. So pick your choice. She says, can you effing read? The change you want is not going to happen overnight. All I'm asking is for you to chase me. And you have not done that since you said you were going to. Like I said, this relationship is not effing working. I have been sitting here arguing with you all day, wasting my life on you. Dom says, wow, okay. Let me know when you want to try. She says, and you're so worried about empathy, but yet you haven't shown any today. I swear to God, this is not going to end well if this isn't fixed. You've been terrible all effing day and making me regret everything. Dom says, because you've only tried to take shots at me all day and turn the argument on me. Kenzie says, like I said for the third time now, I can show you change. I can't show you change tonight. You're going to have to wait until an altercation comes up to show compassion. Dom says, or this would have been over. Kenzie says, because this is all reflection of how you were treated as a child and how your past relationships have effed you up. Dom says, mean, mean. Kenzie says, I mean, when you ask me the same question I just answered, I'm going to ask you if you can effing read. She questions her own messages. She questions, show me you're trying. She questioned, can you effing read? She says, do you have 2 hours of this? You have 2 hours for this to be resolved, or you're single. I would choose wisely. I would be, I would be replying to. You are not trying to resolve the problem or chase. So why would I change for you if you can't even change or chase? And to be honest, we shouldn't even be together right now. I shouldn't have gotten back with you after you cheated on me with Emily. I gave you another chance and you said you were going to be better, and clearly you haven't been. Dom says, yeah, I've been way better. You agreed to treat me with compassion and empathy and respect. And guess what? I've got none of that. Kenzie says, no, you haven't been better, to be honest. I would know. Dom says, so not, I'm asking for no narcissist behavior. Oh, he meant so now. And Kenzie says, I'm asking you to chase and prove that you actually want to be in a relationship with me. With the way you're acting, clearly you do not care about this relationship or my feelings. If I was you, I would be trying really hard to fix this relationship. So serious when I say this isn't fixed by 12, then we're not going to be in a relationship anymore. Here we go with the cheating again. I know. I know. It's and the chasing. What the is wrong with her? Dom says, Kenzie, if I wanted to leave you, do you think I'd text you for 8 hours straight asking you to change when you're just responding with the same things I'm telling you not to do? No, I gave you like a million chances today to not say some narcissistic shit to me, and you can't. You're showing me you can only think of yourself. I'm not doing anything till you at least try and make an effort to change, and you haven't, because every time you just say something back to me to throw shade or point the finger. So stop trying to put this on me. I am done. If you don't do anything to change this and want to break up with me at 12, then fine, do it. Kenzie said, this is now the fifth time I'm telling you I cannot change tonight because there's nothing I can't do to show you. Why are you not understanding this? How come you can't chase like you said you were going to? Dom said, try, because you're not trying. Kenzie says, I wouldn't be effing texting you all day if I wasn't trying. Are you effing serious? She sends 20 question marks, more question marks, and more question marks. She says, this is exactly what I mean by not chasing. If you wanted to chase, you would. Dom says, you're trying, but not trying to change your act at all. Kenzie says, you are not trying or changing. You're not doing either of those things. So why are you being a hypocrite? Now, for the sixth time, I'm telling you that I cannot change because there's nothing that I can do to show you tonight. It's going to take time. And I don't know how many times I have to tell you this to get it through your effing head. Honestly, if it hits 11 o'clock and you're still being mean to me, I'm done. Dom says, you can start by not saying, get it through your effing head. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Kenzie said, well, it's getting kind of old now. I have said the same thing 6 times. That's why I'm saying, get it through your effing head. You keep making me repeat the same things over and over again. You're just rubbing my nose in this thing like a revolving door, and I'm effing over it. Dude, I would answer right now. You're literally making me so mad. So childish. This is not how my relationship is going to work. You're mentally draining. Dom said, it's getting kind of old how you're mean AF, repeating the same habits, can't even say you're going to change without a backhand with it trying to shade me. You mentally drain me. That's why I'm telling you to change. I'm done for real. Like, I'm really about to just stop responding. Kenzie says, oh, now you're going to make me sleep here, huh? I meant I mentally drain you for not babying you when you hit your head on my car, because that's literally how this started, because I went home when you hit your head. Dom said, no, Kenzie, that's not it at all. I just decided to bring it up after. Kenzie said, then what is it? And why aren't you answering all my questions? Dom said, Kenzie, I'm done talking to you till you start trying and stop arguing with me. And now I mean it. No backsided apology or anything. Kenzie said, I'm asking you what is the reason and what I do to cause you calling me a narcissist. If it's not you hitting your head on my car, then what is it? It's 11. You have 1 hour. I would answer now, though. Dom emphasizes his message. She says, I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm asking you, what is the reason that you're calling me a narcissist? 2-minute timer starting. He says, I told you all the reasons. My head has nothing to do with it. Kenzie says, I'm saying, why are you telling me like this? What did I do to make you think this way? And you can't answer my question. So I think you're just trying to argue. Dom says, I told you that I've been telling you for a while about your compassion. And now I realize today you show many narcissistic traits towards me. Kenzie said, you're still not answering my question. I'm asking you. I would like to know exact situations. It's 11:11, so time is almost up. Dom says, so what is your exact question? Kenzie said, tell me examples of situations because this didn't just come out of nowhere. Like, what action did I do for you to call me a narcissist other than me not caring that you hit your head? Dom said, many things. It's over and over now. I realize. Kenzie said, okay, I'm asking you to give me examples. 11:20, 20 question marks. To be honest, I don't want this to end, but I will because I know my worth. Dom says, Kenzie, I pointed out while we were texting, like, look at our text messages. Kenzie said, I'm still waiting for examples. Dom said, I'm not doing this. When you act narcissistic, I'll tell you. Dom's That's what Dom said. Kenzie says, major girls never let girls go to bed mad. And I honestly can't believe you didn't let me sleep at your house tonight. That's also majorly an F up. That is not narcissistic. I'm asking you to give me examples. Dom says, well, the main thing you did immediately is gaslight me. You tried to say I have mental problems. Kenzie said, well, I'm not asking you about gaslighting. I'm asking you how I'm a narcissist and you told me you have bipolar disorder. Dom says, saying I'm bipolar and other things. Kenzie says, you told me you have that. Dom said, and that's the reason I'm saying that. I don't have that. Kenzie said, then why did you tell me you do? Dom said, even if I did, it's still narcissistic. Kenzie says, it's not. Dom says, yeah, it is. Kenzie says, you told me you are. Dom says, okay, I'm bipolar. Kenzie says, major rule, never let your girl go to bed mad. And honestly, I can't believe you didn't let me sleep at your house tonight. That's a major F up. So she basically repeated herself. Why would he want to sleep over? Like, he said, that's still narcissist. She said, it's not. He said, okay, not arguing. I'm done. She says, can you tell me I'm a narcissist? You can tell me I'm a narcissist, but I can't tell you you're bipolar. She says the major girl comment again. Major rule, never let your girl go to bed mad, et cetera, et cetera. Dom says, see, this is why I'm not texting you. Kenzie said, not arguing. You're ignoring my text. Dom said, Kenzie, okay, don't text for 1 minute and I'll explain. Kenzie says, so I'm repeating myself. Question marks. Dom says, so I have a problem that is a reasonable problem. I say, Kenzie, I have a problem with this. You consider this. You go, haha, it must be a joke. You're being bipolar or something. So whether I'm bipolar or not, gaslighting has nothing to do what you have. You right there try to blow it off like nothing because I'm bipolar, making the gaslighted victim question their sanity more. All it is making someone question whether their thought is valid by saying they have a mental illness. You understand now? Also, major trait is immediately pointing the finger back or trying to change the attention on the other person. So, example, I have a problem with, etc. A narcissist would say a number of things like, oh, yeah, well, I have a problem with this. Well, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't act like this. Well, if you did this to me, so why does it matter? So the first response is changing the argument to the other person, saying they have a problem with them, not acknowledging the problem against them. Actually, I ain't going to explain. It's all self explanatory. Kenzie says, love how you don't care enough to fix the problem. 2 hours and you couldn't fix it. Dom says, Kenzie, you're saying I have to fix the problem when all I did was ask you to change. Why didn't you text back? He says, are you still up? Okay. And that it's going to end there. I'm going to end it there because we've already been live for 3 hours. So we're going to end it at, are you still up when they're fighting? Let me write this down because I'll forget. Wow. That was a lot. Let me take a picture of the page number. That was a lot. They're always fighting. I know. I know. That was a heavy reading though. Like there was a lot going on there. I mean, there always is, but that was a lot. I thought this was at the start. No, we've been live for 3 hours. Wow, this was the craziest. We're not even done with April either. What is the date? We're on the 26th. So tomorrow we'll finish April and get into June. I have another live scheduled later. So well, right after this. We have a Koberger live and then we have an after dark. So break line. Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Heavy. It's just I know. I know. That was heavy. That's a lot. Um, I'm sad. Every time we finish these, I get a little sad because like it's just sad. We're getting close to the crash and I just feel really bad for Dom and his family. It's heartbreaking. Yay, tomorrow. Yes. Okay. So I saved my page. Oh, I have to sneeze. Hit the like button on the way out. And right after this, refresh so you are into the other live. I want to see all of you at the other live. We're doing Brian Koberger. Yes, we'll be back to Kenzie tomorrow, but we still have more lives planned right after this. So hit the like button on the way out. I appreciate you guys for being here. Tap, 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 tap that like button. Shout out to all my mods. I appreciate you guys. I'm so happy to be here for the live. Yay! I'm trying to do more daytime stuff. So it's sad we know he's not here. I know. I know. I only caught the challenge, but thank you. Yes, yes, we'll continue. See you guys on the next live. Like I just said, Brian Koberger next. Make sure you refresh and I'll see you over there. And then we're going to do a Melly After Dark tonight as well. So if you have been there for those, then you know. If not, then you should join. I appreciate you guys for being here. Shout out to all of you, and I will see you shortly on the next one.